have extra stuff, extra length on my charger.
Okay, we are live.
Okay, that sounds good. Just a minute, I'll get
Yeah, I'll greet everybody as soon as somebody
standing
logs
my
on.
head. Sorry, guys.
And then we'll pray and
Yes,
do the pledge before anything else.
yes.
I should have
And just
goods.
a reminder that everybody who's calling in is on like a 15 to 20 minute, everybody who's calling in is on a 15 to 20 minute time restriction. Okay, so we'll just kind of let them talk. Alrighty? So welcome, everyone. Seems like it's been forever since we've connected. No, not yet.
Got one person.
Okay,
Well,
well, that's
I
good.
got to get the chat, so. Hi, Trina.
Yes,
I
hi
have-
Trina.
Hello.
So welcome, everyone. It doesn't look like right now we have very many, but we're starting a little early.
Yeah, it's all right.
And yes, it is. And
There it is.
so it just feels like it's been a long time since we've been together. And I guess it has been. It's been about a month, maybe 5 weeks.
I'd say 5 weeks, yeah.
And we have a really incredible lineup today. So you all will be very blessed. And it's going to be a good stream today.
Hi, Deb, welcome.
Yes, hi Deb. Thanks for being on.
Well, that's, James is supposed to be calling right at 2.
Yeah, so
So,
why don't we go ahead and get started?
I'll open in prayer.
Okay, go ahead.
Heavenly Father, we do thank you for health and strength and another day of life and another day of freedom. We pray for those who don't have freedom right now, Lord, that you would bless them, that you would sustain them and their families, that you would be pleased to restore their freedom. We thank you that any of us who turn to you with all of our hearts have eternal freedom in Christ. So we rejoice in you and we rejoice in him. And but guide us today. Guide our conversations,
Yes,
help us to be
Lord.
salt and light, help us to be encouragement to these men and women and their families. And we thank you for each one. We pray your blessings upon our time. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay.
Yes. Can
All right.
Can you all hear me without the mic?
Can you guys hear Tina? Okay, I think you can. That's been our experience in the
Yeah.
past.
So I just want to give everybody a heads up for our lineup today. James Grant will be calling in at 2. Cash Kelly will be calling in about 20 after. Deb Sandova will be calling in about 2:45. Angie Corson, who is Mason Corson's mother, will be calling in around a little after 3. Olivia Pollock will be calling in from DC around 3:30. And then Jeremy Brown will be calling in as soon as he gets back to his cell after his visit. His visit is over about 4:15, and it takes about 7 to 10 minutes for him to walk back to his housing unit. And so he's going to call in as soon as he gets back. And so I think we just have an incredible lineup today. And I hope everyone is blessed. I have not talked to Olivia before, so I'm really anxious about talking to her. I did read her Gifts and Go posts. I couldn't get through them without bawling my eyes out. It was just horrendous. I mean, it was just heartbreaking. And Angie Corson is going to be sharing about everything that's going on with Mason right now. He did actually send a letter to Gateway Pundit about a couple weeks ago, and that letter is heart-wrenching too. And maybe she can highlight some of that while she's talking today. And Cash Kelly, right after the last time we talked to him, maybe it was right before. Anyway, he was released out of the halfway house. He is back home now, has been home, I think it maybe 6 weeks or so. And so it'll be good to catch up with him and see how he's doing and the direction that God's taking his path at this point, and how they see God's hand in all of this, what they've been through and going forward and where God's taking them. And it'll just be interesting, really good to get Jeremy Brown's perspective on, I would like to, I put out a question about his perspective on the 1512 case that the Supreme Court is going to hear on Tuesday, the 16th. If you all, I'm just really encouraging everybody to pray, especially Tuesday. I think they hear it at 9 o'clock in the morning. If any one of you all feels God calling you to fast, I'm sure that would be more than helpful. So, you know, that's going to be a real positive in the lives of a lot of our guys who are still incarcerated. And so we'll just see how that turns out. But I'm really believing that God is going to intervene and cause the court to rule on our behalf and on Mr. Fisher's behalf. And hopefully a lot of our guys will be able to come home.
I think the Supreme Court case is at 10.
Is it 10?
They start
Okay.
letting visitors in like 9:30.
Oh, okay, that's where I got the 9 o'clock or 9:30 from, so my bad, it's gonna be heard at 10.
Not that it matters. That's-
So anyway, if you're gonna pray from 8 to 9, now you can have another extra hour to pray. So, I think it'll be interesting, and then there are a couple more court cases that are coming down the pike right after that. I know Jake Lang and a couple other guys have filed a court case against the Capitol Police, and that, I have not heard when that's going to be heard, but I have heard that the Supreme Court, it's going to go before the Supreme Court. So we have some things coming down the pike that we really need to keep in prayer and stay vigilant on and see how God moves on our behalf. So James should be calling me here momentarily. He did call our last vigil, right, Roy?
Yes, he
James,
did.
he was
Yes, he
able
did.
to. So it'll be good to touch base with him. Since we talked to him last, I believe he was sentenced.
Yes, I lose track.
I think
I'm
he
sorry.
was sentenced since we have talked to him. So he's waiting to be moved at this point, or
Yeah, that's right.
maybe he's not going to be sentenced till June.
I'm sorry.
I forget the sequence now. Maybe he went to trial.
He has been to trial. I did visit him last month, but
I think that was before too, wasn't it? Before his trial?
no, it was after his
After
trial, but
trial.
prior to his sentencing. Yeah, I
Okay.
believe his
Yeah, I
sen-
think his sentencing is in June.
no, I think
his
it was-
trial.
He'll tell us.
We'll let him tell us. Sorry about that.
Right, I visit these guys, but I just can't keep their stories straight in my head
Yeah.
anymore. I get them mixed up. It's terrible.
And I try to stay up on Jericho's stream, and he gives a daily report on all the phone calls that have come out of DC the night before. And this week has just been a busy week for me, and I have not been able to connect on his live stream during his afternoon. I've had meetings and that have corresponded with the same time that he does his live stream. So I feel like I'm kind of out of the loop today, but no worries, we'll get it done.
Oh, and Deb said, you are correct, James has not yet been sentenced.
Okay.
Oh, and Deb for Freedom says Jericho's been sick. I did not know that.
Oh,
Yeah.
does anyone know what's wrong?
Jericho has not been live. Okay, I guess I did notice that,
Oh, okay.
but so that's why.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known because I haven't been able to get on his live stream this week, so.
I think,
Well, just keep him in prayer too, everyone. And hopefully he'll be back live streaming real soon.
yeah, I believe Jericho's trial is in June, if I remember right. I'm going to try to go down for that,
Jericho's trial?
for that incident.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, goodness. Yes. Oh, my.
I better plug in my computer while we're waiting
Okay.
for
Yeah,
James to
James should
call.
be calling in here momentarily. I was going to try to make a list of noteworthy events over the past couple of weeks, and of course, I didn't write them down. I thought I'd commit them to memory, so I can't remember any of them right now. But one I did read today, it looks like Trump was able to get a delay on one of his court cases. I just kind of read the headline and a couple sentences into the main part of the article. I think I have that right. But they are going to proceed with the New York trial.
Yeah, I saw
Is
that.
that this week, next week?
I'm not sure.
This week, I forget
It's
what
coming
the
up
date is.
shortly.
It is.
Yeah, Deb confirms Jericho's is in June, his
Okay.
trial.
It's starting to reach out and touch us a little bit more personally, isn't it?
Yes. And we never know. I mean, something, when people are calling in from prison, I hope something hasn't come up with James. Hope
I
he's all
hope
right.
too,
He'll be, yeah, it's,
because if something's come up with him, that may mean that Olivia might not be able to call in either.
yeah, if their phones are down or something like that.
Right. Sometimes I've noticed the calls coming in from DC, the initial one sometimes is 2 or 3 minutes, 4 minutes late.
Oh, okay. Well, we won't worry about it. We will deal with it either way.
Yes, we will.
Oh.
So how is everyone on live stream today? How are y'all doing?
Freedom Nut says, think Trump is Tuesday, Trump's trial, but not absolutely sure. Can you guys hear me okay, by the way? I'll try to remember to speak loud. We can always use the mic, but I don't think that's, oh, yeah, you have the mic. Somebody's texting me, but I can't see.
Yeah, you can't see what it is.
Yeah.
Oh.
Did anyone get to see the eclipse last week?
Well, we're all still here, aren't we?
I thought the eclipse was just beautiful. You know, let me share this real quick. I was able to travel out to Northeast Ohio to see the total eclipse, and God blessed because the weather was clear, it was viewable. But I was so encouraged by that. Just the beauty and the fact that, how would I put this into words? These huge bodies, far bigger than we can comprehend, these heavenly bodies just move like clockwork at God's command. And it encouraged me in another way, because like all of us, I get stressed out, and sometimes I get angry, and I deal with that, and I don't want to let my anger at the state of our nation affect my daily relationships with people. And sometimes it's in danger of doing that. But I came home from seeing the eclipse at peace in my heart, because I realized, I mean, we know this theoretically, that God is in control, but the power, the awesome power of God, it brought it into reality from the theoretical realm, that anyone who sets themselves up against God, against God's ways, God's law, God's truth, they don't have a chance. So I must not hate these people who are oppressing us or who are trying to oppress us. I must, I want them to be stripped of their power and humbled and brought low, but I must not hate them. My desire, and God help me with this every day, is for them to repent and be saved. So it was a blessing for me in more ways than one.
Yeah, here where we are in PA, it was really cloudy, it rained. There was one, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 minute time frame that the sun did come out there was a break in the clouds, but by then I think the eclipse was done. So in this part of PA and central PA, I don't believe there was much of anything to see. There might have been some isolated places a little bit west of us and east of us, but right where I am, it was really cloudy, and so we didn't really see much at all.
Same thing upstate New York.
Is that where you were, Ed?
That's where I went,
Okay,
up near Rochester.
okay. Well, that's right, somebody in the chat reminded me that there's a Trump rally in Allentown, Pennsylvania today, which is about 2 hours from here, a little bit more. It's supposed to be in a fire hall. I wonder how that's going to work out. Well, I guess I heard since it's in a fire hall and a large fairgrounds there, so
Yeah.
that's how they'll do it. And
Yeah.
there is an airport there, so they'll probably
There
land
is.
there
Yeah.
and just come over in vehicles. So God bless it. It was supposed to
Yes.
be rainy, but it's not raining now.
Nope.
Of course, it might be there.
It rained here pretty heavily last night, but right now we've got dry weather. Just very, very windy here. Wind gusts of 25 to 35 miles an hour at times that they're forecasting. And I think we probably have hit that a couple times. But this is probably one of the few days in the last couple weeks that we've had sunshine. Well, I take that back. Monday or Tuesday, we had a really gorgeous day.
I was traveling home on
Yeah,
Tuesday.
Tuesday we had a gorgeous day here.
Yeah.
And since then, it's been raining and very cloudy and very damp and just kind of dreary. And it looks like the sun's trying to break through cloud cover now, but it's still pretty thick.
I'm going to log on to Getting Out and see if we have any messages from DC.
Oh, okay. Yeah. They usually aren't 10 minutes late calling in. I'll put out a kind of a funny thing that I read where I work. There was an email that came across our internal email, both Wednesday and Thursday, that one of the men at work was putting it out there that he was collecting Eclipse sunglasses to recycle.
Oh, yeah?
Not sure where he's recycling them to, but I thought that was really pretty funny.
You can just save them and use for later on.
I don't know.
Well, there's not going to be another eclipse for quite a while, but I used the pair I had from back in 2017. Thankfully, I was able to find them. That was
Yeah.
surprising.
But I just had never heard that before, that somebody was going to recycle Eclipse sunglasses. I thought that was really funny. Have you found anything on
Yes.
what's going on?
No message from James, but I do have a message from Olivia.
Okay.
Okay. So yesterday, a bunch of people acted up and we got put on half rec, which I guess that means recreation.
Yeah.
Now, this is just the ladies' side, not the men's side, which means we are only out 5 hours instead of 10. Of course, it might be both. I don't know that. Yeah. We are only out 5 hours instead of 10 in the morning, then get locked back in the cell, and then the other half, sorry, I'm not reading this well because I don't completely understand. The other half of the tier must be like a pod, gets 5 hours at night. Okay, alternating morning and night. So Saturday falls on us being out in the morning. But if they let me out for my detail work, which is 3 to 4, I will be able to call.
Okay.
I'm going to try my best. If I don't call within 5 minutes of 3:25, then I wasn't able to.
Okay.
And then she just answered, well, I'll go ahead and read this. She
Yeah.
answered some questions that I had asked her. It's not too bad here, because the guys in DC, I'm sure everybody out there knows that it's been extremely hot there. James messaged me yesterday, he said the sweat was just running down his face. And
Really?
they didn't have the AC turned on.
Of course, no, it's not time. They won't turn it on yet,
Yeah.
even if they have it.
So I asked Olivia how it was on the ladies' side, And it's not too bad over here on our side, she writes. It's warmer but not hot. Outside felt great today when we went out. And this is yesterday. No, I'm sorry. This is Thursday evening, she's writing back. It was about to rain, so the wind was nice and cool. They cut our outside rec time too, so we only get it every other day. Okay, the women's side already doesn't get outside rec on weekends, so I'm gonna miss getting to run around this weekend. Pray it's not for long and things go back to normal quickly. That may be, I'm only guessing.
I wonder if they affected both sides.
It may have, yeah.
Because
Yesterday
it's
a bunch
12, it's 2:13, and I've not ever known James to be 13 minutes late
Yeah,
for
that's
a call.
probably the reason. So I'm gonna go back and check our chat. But it's okay. If we do have if Olivia can't call this afternoon, maybe you could read that letter, Tina. If we don't
Okay, I
get-
can pull it up on my phone.
Yeah, or I on my
Yeah,
computer.
well, Angie texted it to me and texted the link, and I
Okay,
can just go on the link and I can read it.
okay.
So,
Oh,
it's a letter that Mason Corson sent to Gateway Pundit, and kind of gives an update of everything that's been happening with him and what's going on, and he was sentenced. He is currently, I forget where he is, but he is at his, I guess, permanent staycation, if you
Yeah.
want to call it that.
I forget where
I
they're
try
from.
to kind of come up with different words.
If I remember right, the Corson family is from the Midwest somewhere, right? We met them a year ago at the live stream outside the jail.
So if Olivia can't call, then I'll see if I can read that letter he sent to the Gateway Pundit. It's a pretty good letter.
Oh, and Deb just messaged me, said they turned it on now, meaning BAC in DC.
Oh,
Thank
okay.
the Lord for that. Lord
Yes,
bless.
yes.
Lord bless. Must
Yeah.
be, maybe it's just hot inside the building, or maybe it's been hot down in DC, the weather, I don't know that.
Yeah, I don't know what the temperature's been down there. Now, we had 70s here on either Tuesday and Wednesday or Wednesday and Thursday. So they might have been a lot warmer there because they're a little bit south and somewhat east of us. But I know that was one thing that James always talked about last summer when he was still at Lewisburg, that they don't have AC at Lewisburg. And so on the hot days last summer, they were in pretty bad shape.
They were sweltering, yeah.
They were sweltering.
You
And he
can tell
said
by-
that-
I'm sorry.
He said the building never really cooled down at night, maybe till about 4:30, and then 5:30, 6 o'clock, the sun was back up and already heating the building back up. And so there was never really any significant relief from the heat, even at night.
You can just tell by looking at that building. You know, I've lived around here all my life, and you probably have too.
Oh, yeah.
It's an old brick building, I think it was built in the 30s, and
Yeah.
never re-outfitted with AC or anything
Nope.
like that. It's a, except for the fact that it's a prison, it's a beautiful looking building.
Yeah.
Got this big tower in the middle. Actually, it's kind of impressive looking, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think probably James is locked down. Or they took their phone privileges away or something. Because he's past his 15-minute time frame now.
Yeah, it's probably the same issue that Olivia
Yep.
wrote about.
Yep, I would imagine.
So we should have Cash calling
Yep.
in a few minutes.
Yep, Cash should be calling in here in a couple minutes. So that's one of the frustrating things about this, is that things can change on the flip of a dime, and we're all kind of the last ones to know. And it's just unfortunate that things happen, that they have things taken away from them at the last minute, and then they aren't able to call out or connect with people, and I'm sure that's disappointing for them too.
It's just life in prison. You give up some of your rights, unfortunately. I am headed down to DC tomorrow, should get there tomorrow night in time for the vigil, but I'm going to try to get into the Supreme Court. I'm sorry if I already said that. I can't remember
No,
if
I
I
don't
did or
think
not. But I plan to head down to the court about 6:30. But last time we were there, we talked to one of the Supreme Court officers who was out on the street, and he said, if it's a real high-profile case, people camp out overnight, and I'm not prepared to do that.
Oh, wow. I had not even thought about that. I know seating's limited, they only.
About 50 people, he
50
said.
people, that's what I thought.
He said, if you come down here and see there's a big line, more than 50 people, he said, don't even bother waiting in it.
Yeah, yeah,
So, but we are going to have a presence outside on Tuesday morning, so if I can't get in, I'll just join
yep.
the ladies out, the patriots out there, and, having a presence and showing their support for the case.
And any of you, if you're close enough to DC, the more numbers we have even outside the courtroom and outside the building, the better it is. Because it just shows the strength of our presence, the strength of our convictions, and our willingness to stand for our country and stand for what's right.
You guys were talking about Jericho a little bit ago. Does anyone know, as long as it's not, I guess I'm worried about HIPAA, but is Jericho, is not something real serious, is it? I hope not. Hope he's going to get better. If anybody knows, you can share.
HIPAA only pertains to medical records.
Oh. So it's only medical records. It's like if I say, oh, somebody's Mr. X down the street is sick.
That's not
That's
a
not a
HIPAA, that's
violation
not a
of
HIPAA
HIPAA.
violation.
Oh, okay. They have that all jacked up. Yeah, Deb says, I don't know, he just said he was sick. So. God bless him.
Well, we just pray for a speedy recovery and look forward to seeing him back on his stream real soon. Okay, Cash, cheer up.
Set this here, I shouldn't hurt.
I think what I'll do is this.
You do have the volume up on your phone, right, Tina?
Yeah, I do. It's up all the way.
Okay,
Yep,
good.
Yep, I know. That
Yeah.
happened once, didn't it?
I don't remember for sure. Okay, I am getting a bunch of texts, but it's just from outside of this. If I'm looking at the phone when it comes
I
up,
just texted Cash to let him know that we were ready for him if he's ready
Yeah.
to call. I know I did that one other time.
and he
that
did
we
take
had
the
somebody calling in from outside.
he did take the time difference into account, right? You said.
Well, if there is a time difference, I don't know whether there's a time difference or not.
You said he's in Indiana.
Yes, he's in
Okay.
Indiana.
There
He
shouldn't
had
be.
asked me if it was Eastern Standard Time. I said, no, it's EDT, Eastern Daylight. And I said, currently it's 10 o'clock here, but I thought you were on the same time as we were. So,
Yeah, Indiana used to always. Most states go to daylight savings time. There's a few who don't.
yeah, a couple in the Midwest don't.
Arizona used to not
Yeah,
do it.
I'm thinking Oklahoma doesn't, but here we go. Yes. Hey Cash, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
We're just fine
It's not coming
here.
out over the speaker, Tina.
Oh, it's not coming out. Oh, maybe
Turn
if
the
I
mic
turn
on.
the mic on.
There you
There we go. Okay, we'll start again. How are you doing, bro?
I'm doing well. I can't complain too much. I'm just hanging here with my kids, editing some videos, just putting out content.
Good, good.
Hey, Cash.
Well, welcome back. I know.
Hey, how you doing, brother?
And I'm good, thank you. Thank you, sir.
So welcome back. I know it's been a while since you talked to us.
Yes,
And,
ma'am.
I think since we talked to you last, you are now home.
Yes, I'm home. I actually got my own house now.
Wow, that's awesome.
Wonderful.
So
Yeah,
what-
just moved my baby back up from Texas and just
Yeah.
getting everything back on track.
wow, that's awesome. What a blessing.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So what are you doing right now? What has God been doing, and what direction do you see yourself headed?
Okay, so this is what God's been doing for me lately. All right, I've been building. I told you all, but they took my platforms down. They took my Facebook and my Instagram. So I had to, when I got home, I had to restart it, and they've been growing very, very fast.
Good.
And I've been gaining back some momentum, gaining back some traction. I also started working for, put my money where my mouth is, what my beliefs is, in this country. So what I do is I actually promote American-made business, and I get other people that are in the country to switch to shopping American, to buying American. So that's how I've been able to support myself, as well as through social media and the things that I do with that, putting out content. I've started editing videos. I've been teaching myself how to edit and put out content with my own spin on it. And that's been going very well. And the other thing that God did is He restored my family. So I have my kids and their mother that came up from Texas, and they just moved in. We got our own house. It's a beautiful home. And yeah, it's just everything's just been going really well. I got a couple radio interviews. I'm gonna be on with Peggy Hubbard. I'll also be with Scott Presler. I just got a lot of stuff going on. It's just everything's been going good. So next step is just after this gets growing a little more, we're gonna bring more light onto the things that's been happening on January 6th. If you've been following my content, I've been putting out a couple videos about that. So it's all been going really well.
Praise the Lord.
Oh, that's just amazing. And,
Where
you're
is you putting
just
this content up? Facebook or?
Cash. Where can people connect with your content?
Okay, so on Facebook, I'm just Cash Kelly. On Instagram, it is the Cash Lee Kelly. On YouTube, it's Cash Kelly the Streetlight. On Twitter or X, it is at Cash Lee Kelly 1. And on the TikTok, it is Cash Kelly 6. So I've been using all the social media platforms to get the message out. You can follow me on any of those places, or all of those places if you like.
Okay, we just, on the chat, our moderator just put it all out there, so it's already up.
Awesome, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
You guys are also on right now. What are you broadcasting on? YouTube or Facebook?
Only YouTube.
Just YouTube right now.
That's all I know. I'm a low-tech person, but people help me with this.
Totally understand. I appreciate you all. Do you have any news about the brothers that's away? I keep in contact with a couple of the brothers in DC. They text my phone through the tablet, so I keep in contact with a couple of them. I would like to get involved more with some outreach as far as like trying to get more funds for the families.
Right.
So if you guys need any help with that, if I can help in any way with my platforms, all you got to do is just say the word and let me know, and we can do it.
Okay, I will certainly keep that in mind.
Okay.
Yeah, I have an idea that I'd like to try to do in Central PA. I can probably contact you on the side and throw that out at you.
Okay. That'll work.
But yeah, it's something I feel God put on my heart last fall, but I just haven't had a chance to really get any traction on it yet.
Do you want to
But
share
I
it with
know
all
that.
of us?
Huh?
Do you want to share it with all of us, or would it take too long?
Well, what I felt like God put on my heart to do was to be a liaison with Look Ahead America and their post-release job program, and
That'd be great.
try to get that up and running with businesses in Central PA. It's a tri-county area, and I just haven't had a chance to really do anything with it yet. But I know God wants me to do that, so I have to get that up and working with Look Ahead America.
That would be a big help, because I'm gonna tell you right now, every job application that I've put in, I haven't gotten one call back, which is why I've been just taking on the spirit of entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
So that would be a big help for people that are just coming home, especially just coming home, because it's rough. It is rough, let me tell you.
Oh, I'm sure it is. And part of the issue would be they would have to be willing to relocate. But I guess my thought is relocating for a job might not be too much of an issue.
Well, you know, it might turn into something bigger than you think. It might turn into something that could be nationwide, where we partner with people throughout the states.
Yes,
So
yeah.
let's start. We get it started, and I'll do all I can to help push it and put the word out and let everybody know what's going on. And
Okay.
you know, we'll see what happens.
Okay, well, I'll certainly stay in contact with you, Cash, and see how that pans out. So, but I really
If I can get
feel-
any kind of assistance, just tell me and let me know what you need me to do.
Okay, I will. Yep, thank you. But I think it's just amazing that you're continuing to see God's faithfulness and God's goodness in your life. And it just is exciting to see the foundation that he developed and built upon when you were inside, and he's continued to grow that since you've come home.
Yes. Have you been able to speak with any of the other people that have been released so far? I'm in contact with almost all the brothers that have came home.
Oh, are you? Oh, that's awesome. I have not really seen anyone face to face. I am in contact with 2 or 3, but they're all inside. But
Well, if you would like, I can put you in contact with a couple of brothers that have already been out here and they're doing their thing and they're trying to work and provide for their families as well.
yeah, that would be awesome. So I'll touch base with you here. I'll see what my schedule is tonight. Maybe we can put something together tonight and just start talking.
Okay, that'll work. I'm free. I'm available. Just give me a call.
Okay, I will.
Listen, brother, I appreciate you all and all that you do to try to bring awareness to this and all the help that you try to provide for the people that are associated with this. It's messed up what's happening. It's messed up what has happened. And I just appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Hey, Cash.
Here, Roy has a question, Cash.
Cash,
What's going on, Roy?
just a statement. The people on the chat say that they love you, and they said let you know that Jeff Sable is in Philadelphia.
Oh, I need his contact information if anybody could get it for me, because I love that brother, man. Me and him, we were tight when I was locked up with him.
I'll get it for you when I talk to
It
you.
might be coming. If Deb can't do it,
Yeah, I can get it for you too.
Okay, that'd be great.
Yep. So I don't know who else.
Can you guys find out anything about Shane Jenkins?
I don't know anything about it.
I can at least maybe get an updated address for you.
That'd be great, because that's my brother. That's my brother, and I know he's probably going through it, man. He's
Yeah.
yeah. So I would like to reach out to him as
You
well.
remember James Grant?
James.
Yeah, Grant. He was in Lewisburg with you. Going back a ways.
Yeah, he was probably on the other side though, because when I went there, I was in a whole different section because I was.
Okay. Oh, that's right.
They were on Pretrial detainees.
Yeah, see, I wasn't sure whether you were on the other side the whole time you were in Lewisburg or whether it had been divided.
Yeah, no, they put me on the other side. I was
Okay,
with people that were sentenced. They were on the pretrial pod.
Okay. So you didn't know James. He was in Lewisburg for a while. He had trial. He's being sentenced in June.
Okay.
But so yeah. So what's going on with street life?
Oh, that's the other thing I forgot to mention. So the Streetlights Unity Movement is a 501c3, and all I'm waiting for now is for them to finish the review and send me for people when they donate to it, it can count as a write-off. I'm just waiting on that, and then we're going to do our first event, which is going to be a community day where we have the police, the fire department, and the community have a cookout and just like a meet and greet. Maybe have some bags, some water balloons, a bouncy house for kids, and just do it like that. But the goal for me is to get the people and the police to come together and just interact with each other, and that way it makes it more of a personal thing. So where when the police in the community, they're not just seeing the kids or the teenagers, the young adults or whatever, as a potential person that's committing a crime. They'll see them as a person in their community, and then for the civilians to also understand that the police aren't just police. You have some police that are pastors and coaches of little league teams, and just make it more of like a connection.
Right.
So that's why I feel like it can help heal the community a little bit, and just be more together, like more of a togetherness. So that's the goal for the first event. So be on the lookout for that. It'll be hopefully I can be able to do that in July. That's what I'm planning.
Yeah, that sounds really good, and it helps on both on law enforcement and just the kids. It helps the kids see that they aren't just a negative person in the community.
Exactly. That's the goal.
It helps to develop trust between both sides, and the kids know that the law enforcement is a place where they can go for help. It's just not that, you know, it's a negative experience with them.
Exactly. Yes, 100%. That's the goal. So we're just working towards it every day. We're just walking more towards the goal. That's it. Not looking backwards. Enjoying the moment, but stay walking into your future, what God got for you.
That's right. And that's all any of us can do.
Hey,
Exactly.
Cash.
Okay, Roy has something else he wants to say.
What's up, Roy?
Yeah, somebody on the chat just said that Shane Jenkins is currently in Pollock, Louisiana. That's a prison I hadn't heard of before. Pollock Federal Correctional.
Okay, is that a minimum, maximum, or medium? Is it an FCI, USB, or low?
Can anybody else answer that? Yeah, but I did find Shane himself posted something on Give, Send, Go. It's too long to read. He posted something on April 10th, just this past week, about his ministries there. It sounds like he's really involved in a lot of big things at that prison. We're getting some sort of feedback. I'm not sure if that's on our end or not.
Yeah, I got to get back in contact with him, man. That's my brother. I want to make sure he's all right.
You should be able to find his contact on the Patriot Mail Project. I'm sure you know what that is. Let me see if I can find it.
If not, I can get it for you, Cash.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll get it to you.
That'll be great.
So how long has it been since the kids have been home, since they came in from Texas?
Oh, well, they've been gone. They've been gone since I got incarcerated to Texas,
Right.
so I haven't got to see them until they just came back. I actually posted the reunion on my Streetlights Unity Movement page. That's another page that I forgot to tell you guys about. That's where I post all my positivity, all the positive content. It goes on the Streetlights Unity Movement on Facebook.
So how long have they been back?
They just got back 2 days ago.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
Yes, I took a whole day yesterday
Wow.
and didn't do
Wow.
anything. I just got with them.
That's great. Yeah, you're still
Yes.
adjusting to the joy of them being back.
Yes, and
I just shared your guys' stuff on my Facebook page, and I'm gonna share it on my Twitter account as well.
that's
Hopefully it bring you guys some more people.
it just is a blessing to know that God has brought a family back together, and it's just really amazing.
It definitely is. I'm really grateful for everything God's been doing, and I'm excited for where we're gonna go next.
Yeah,
You know?
I'm sure.
Cash, somebody on the stream said Pollock is a medium security installation.
Pollock's a
Oh,
medium
good,
security.
good. I thought that they were gonna try to send him to USP. I'm really glad that he's there at a medium.
Yeah.
He survived me. He's making his way. Then I already know that. I know Shane's fine. I just want to be able to be. I want to be able to send him something, just
Sure.
a letter, some encouragement. I want to give him my phone number, really, so he can call me.
Yep. Well, I'm sure he'll be really grateful to hear from you.
Yeah, we got his
That's my
address
brother.
already, so we'll have Tina send it to you.
Yep, I'll send you the address.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Sure thing, not a problem. Glad to do it.
That's my bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if anybody else out there, if you guys can write him, send him some love. He was really in DC DOC. He was one of the people that was really, really grateful for all the mail that he got from people across the country. So if you could be somebody that can write him and send him some encouragement, that would be greatly. He would greatly appreciate it, and I would greatly appreciate it because that brother really, he's got a big heart, man. He's got a real big heart. He's a good dude, real good dude.
I know he was really instrumental in establishing Bible studies and just really encouraging people in the Lord who are going through, just going through it.
Yeah, man, that's my brother. Real talk. That's one of my guys, man, for the rest of my life. I can't wait until he gets home.
It's amazing what only God knows what relationships and what future providence will come out of J6. Well, he'll use it for
Yes.
good, some way or the
Absolutely
other.
will.
And not just,
Oh, yeah, I'm
but
sure he's
many
using it for
ways.
good right now.
Absolutely he is, yep. And, you know, it just, and like Roy said, we have no idea what God's ultimate overall plan for all of this is. And,
Right.
you know, and I think it's just gonna blow our socks off when we look back and see everything that God did and
Amen.
how he
Amen.
orchestrated different situations and just used it all for good, for the country and for individual lives and families and all of us that have, you know, rubbed shoulders with each other and I'm just looking forward to seeing a lot of you guys face to face.
Yeah, amen.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
It's gonna be pretty awesome.
100%.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, but other than that, so I got nothing really going on. I'm just hanging out. Like I said, I sit in front of this computer and create content.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Yeah. And
Try to bring some Go ahead.
just loving on your kids.
Exactly.
Yeah.
100%.
Cash
Love
me.
on my babies.
May God bless you with work at the right time.
Yes. Amen.
Yeah. No, you know, it's actually going good with this right now. And if anybody out there wants to support by switching over to Buy an American, I'm your guy. Just give me a call. I do live Zoom meetings, and you know, when we talk about it, I show you everything, and it's good. It's just real good. This is, for me, it's like I'm still a part of the cause. You know, it's all about America and togetherness and getting people to support, you know, American values.
Right.
You know, and what better way to show an American value on display than to shop
Yeah.
American.
Well, Cash, maybe at some point in the near future, I can help set up a Zoom meeting with you, with our local Patriot group, if you're allowed to
That'd
do
be
that.
great. Yeah, that'd be
And,
great. I'm good. I can do anything now.
Okay,
I'm
all right.
The only thing I gotta do is let them know when I travel. That's it.
Oh, okay. So I wasn't sure. I didn't know what your restrictions were, but I'll see if I can put that together. I'm sure everyone in our meeting would be really interested to hear you talk and share and you know what God's doing with you now and where you're headed forward and maybe some of the things that weren't so good inside that you saw God bring good out of.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, so I'll see if I can put that together. I know we have a couple
Okay.
programs set up in April and into May. So it might not be till June, but I think we can make that happen in June.
I'm game. Just let
Okay.
me know what you need from me. I'm always here.
Good enough. All right. Well, I think we're gonna have to let you go. We have another call coming in a couple minutes. And we shall touch base. I'll let you know when we're doing our next live stream. If you're available, you can call in then
I'll be
too,
available
okay?
for you.
All righty.
I'll be
Good
available.
enough,
If you
Cash.
tell whoever it is calling in, if they're a Jan 6, you tell them brothers, I said to keep their head up and I love them and I'm praying for them and whatever I can do to help, just let me know. Reach out. Give them my number, tell them to call.
Okay, I will
Amen.
do that, yes.
God bless you, brother.
God bless you guys.
God
And
bless.
I'm
You guys
just
have a wonderful day.
so excited that God's brought your family back together and I know there's great things gonna come out of that.
Thank you so much. I
You're
love y'all. God bless you.
Yes, God bless you too. Give all the kids hugs for us.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we'll talk to you later, Cash.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Very good. Gosh, God's doing some awesome stuff in his life.
Amen. Yeah, that was very
Woo,
encouraging.
that's incredible.
Tina, somebody on the chat pointed out, and I noticed, at first I thought the feedback was on Cash's end, but I don't think so, because it's only when you talk. So somehow it, maybe,
Is it feedback,
I have-
feedbacking off of my end?
I
Is it
have
on
no
the-
idea. I think it's on
Is it
your
on the
end.
mic?
Quite possibly.
Well, we'll have to see.
Just try, I don't know what to tell you to do about it, if anything, but
Yeah,
maybe
I'm
try
not sure
moving it
either.
around, or, because we've not really had that problem before. that I'm
Okay,
aware of.
Deb, I saw where you texted me Jeff Sable's address. I will send that on to Cash.
I already have it in the chat. Or, well, yeah,
Yep.
probably better
and,
easy if you just text it to Tina.
Yep, so I will send that on to him, and hopefully I'll be able to talk to him later on tonight. So our next caller is going to be Deb Sandoval.
I think it's Sandoval.
Sandoval?
Well, I'm not sure.
Okay,
I'm just
I don't
assuming
know.
that. We'll ask her. We'll ask her.
But she's going to be calling at about 2:45. So we have just a couple minutes here. In fact, I think this is her now.
Okay.
Hello?
Hello?
Is this Deb?
Yeah, it is.
Hi, Deb.
Hi.
Welcome to our vigil.
And hi, Deborah. This is Roy Bunger. We've messaged many times. It's good to hear your voice.
It's nice to hear from you too.
So why don't we just open it up to you? Again, we don't have a large following on YouTube, but we have a very faithful and loyal following. They're active patriots. So I imagine that the majority of them are already familiar with your story. But why don't we just, first of all, what state are you from? I forget.
I'm in Iowa. Iowa.
Okay, yeah, you're right. That's Central Time. So why don't you just take as much time as you want and share your story, and then we can react and ask questions.
Well, me and my son were planning on, me and my son and my fiance were planning on going to the Trump rally. And so we felt like, I felt like just like everybody I'd talked to that God wanted me to go. In fact, my fiance wasn't going to go, and I told him, I felt like I have to go because I feel like God was telling me to go. So we decided we wanted to go because we heard that, Antifa was going to be down there and trying to attack us because we went in December. So
you guys were there in December too. Okay.
Yeah, we were down there in December, and it was such an awesome experience. I mean, there was so much patriotism down there, and you could feel God in the crowd. Everybody was just so happy, and it was beautiful. So we were drawn back to that. And at the December one, I brought my son, who was he's a Marine, and he said he's never seen so much patriotism ever.
Yeah.
And then Salvador went too. Both my boys went at that time. So the next time, my other son couldn't go to the Marines, but my Salvador did, and he took my brother, who's a veteran. He's a disabled veteran, and he drove with him separately. And so we went down there, and he was like, I think it was about 4 hours behind us, because we went down so we could get down to there and get up in front and listen. And so we got down there, and he was trying to find me the whole time we were there, and we started walking up to the Capitol, and he kept calling me and seeing where I was at. He was trying to catch up with me. And so somehow when I was going up to the Capitol, I veered off a little bit to the left. So I went to a different part of the Capitol. I was going down Constitution Avenue, and I didn't realize I wasn't at the front of the Capitol because I've never been there before. And they all look the same. I mean, it's beautiful. But anyway, we got down there, and my son was calling me, and all of a sudden, people started going up on the steps, and we heard them saying, look, they're letting us up on the steps. And so I started going up on the steps, and then we were all starting together and pushed up on the steps, and if you would have tried to turn around at that time, you would have got trampled.
Right.
So we ended up just going up on the steps, and I thought, well, I was really going to listen to Trump speak up here. And then all of a sudden, it changed from, started getting a little bit more loud. I've never been in a protest. I've just, I've never been in anything like that, so I didn't know if we were going to go down there and pray and hold hands or what. We got up to the top of the steps, and all of a sudden, there was projectiles getting thrown through the air, and people were being carried down, and you couldn't see this from the bottom of the steps. And there was tear gas all over the place, and my son called me during the middle of all this. I believe it was on FaceTime. And I don't remember exactly what I said to him, but I know that I was repeating what these people were telling us to do, because they were telling us, brothers and sisters, you've got to rise up together, and we got to do this together. The only way to get through this is together, and because we're thrown into a warlike situation.
Yeah.
And I know I have it on video, because the first thing my son, I told him we were being attacked, and he said, Mom, videotape it. So I got off the phone and started just holding my camera above my head and videotaping everything. I got a lot of stuff on the videotape that been wanting to let people get out. In fact, on the way up there, I didn't know, because after this happened, I went through everything and found a lot on that I had picked up that I didn't know I had. But anyway, my son, when that happened, he was at the ellipse and he ran. from the ellipse, which is about 2.5 miles.
Right.
He ran all the way up there. My brother is not in the shape to do that. He's disabled. And so he lagged behind, and my son got up there, but he went straight where I veered off, and he went into another part of the Capitol. And we weren't allowed to talk about what happened there, but when I got up there, all the windows were broken. People were shooting us from inside the Capitol. The projectiles were coming from inside the Capitol, and there was no police officers outside helping us. We were just out there, and we had no idea who was shooting us. We just felt like whoever was shooting us from, they broke out the windows, and they were shooting us from inside the Capitol and using it like as a protective barrier,
Yeah.
so we could hide behind it, you know.
For cover.
And then somebody came up, and they were trying to open the doors with I don't know where this pole came from, and we're so confused by that time because I think the stuff that we're breathing, it's not just tear gas. It made us lightheaded, like cloudy. We just didn't know what was going on. I mean, and not to mention that it was chaos all around us, and people getting carried down, and we're breathing and puking in stuff, out stuff. But I'll tell you, I've never been somebody that runs. I can't run and leave people that are getting injured down. I took nursing in high school, and got kicked in, and I started helping people, and you can hear me yelling, water, water, and I'm pressing forward trying to help people. And I mean, people are telling us things like flags forward, which I didn't even know was a military thing. I didn't know what that meant. I told my boyfriend at the time, I said, hey, they want us to bring our flags forward to show them that we're American. That's how confused I was. We're on American soil being attacked, but take your flags up there so they'll stop attacking us, you know? And so we just stood there holding the flag like idiots, you know, trying to figure out what to do. And the doors, when they did finally come open, why I say this is the doors, somebody was taking a pull and trying to push it open, trying to get other people to do it, but nobody touched that pull. But all of a sudden, if you're pushing a door open, they would go inside, but somebody pushed the button and they opened outwards, and then we went in. But and there was nobody. All of a sudden, it just got real quiet in the Capitol, and everybody was happy. It was like we stopped something, and we went on a tour. There was red ropes, velvet ropes, and they took us and showed us around and everything. We were passing cops, and I thought, wow, we stopped it. But then I started seeing things like pictures propped against the wall in this office, and somebody was yelling, don't steal that. So I stopped at the door and took pictures. And there's a guy that I didn't see right then, because like I said, I think they drugged us. But he's filming me, and he's got muddy boots propped up on top of a desk. I didn't go inside, but I got it on camera, and he's just videotaping anybody that comes in that office door. And there's pictures propped up over it on a chair. They didn't fall off. Somebody's taking the pictures and going across the hallway, opening a door and taking them in there. And I was yelling at the guy, don't take that, we don't steal. And he just looked at me like, I looked at him high, I guess, from what they were doing, and it looked like his eyes were glowing, but he looked down at me like he's gonna kill me. And I just sort of shriveled up because I can't fight. I hate to say it, but I'm my age, I'm 54, and I wasn't there to be in any kind of conflict or anything.
Of course not.
And well, my whole family was calling me while I was in there. And in fact, my sister's in California, and she's saying, and my mom, and they're asking me, are you okay? And I said, what's going on? What's going on? It seemed like the whole world knew something was going on and was telling us we were doing something. I said, nobody's stealing, nobody's doing anything. I started showing them things. That's before I seen those pictures. And I showed all this stuff, and that's where I also was videotaping, and cops walking by us and smiling and talking to people and everything. Then on the way out, I seen a group of people, and I was on the phone with my sister-in-law, and these people looked like they were there was these cops, and I thought maybe the cops were protecting where we're not supposed to go, because I've never been in there, because they were lined up on a wall. And this group came up to them, and it was looking like they were trying to punch. They were like having an altercation, but hindsight, I'm looking at it, they weren't making contact. They weren't punching or anything. And this is where it gets blurry, because I know that I yelled at them to stop. And I have two teenage boys. When they fight, I know what a fight between boys looks like, and they weren't touching, they weren't making contact. It was like a show. And so I stopped and I told the police officer at the time, I said, I don't know who those people are, and I made sure he could hear me, because they are not with us. We don't do that. We don't do that. I don't know who they are. And I told him, I'm sorry, I don't know who they are. And I know I was exactly right, because I'm pretty sure they were Antifa, because it wasn't just Antifa, it was the FBI, because I have pictures of them telling us what to do. They were the ones instructing us to, brothers and sisters, rise up, you need to do this together. The only way to get through this is together. And on the way up, I videotaped one saying, and we weren't even up there yet, and he took a walkie-talkie, and he's walking away from the Capitol with three other middle-aged white men. And he said, time to take the Capitol building. And it went over the intercom, which nobody was paying attention to at that time, because there's so much excitement about being there and amongst each other and everything. But I know now exactly what happened. You know, we could have been foggy-headed at that time, but we know that we didn't do anything wrong. We were there protecting each other, and we're law-abiding citizens. And we have our faith, and I know God will get us through this. My son went on the other side, and I didn't get to hear a lot of it before trial, because they made us, we couldn't talk about it. And I don't know what happened to him, but he told me later, he said, Mom, I couldn't hardly remember anything that was going on. But he kept going in and out because people were on the ground and the police officers were even beating them up. Even in the courtroom, it showed a police officer, and he's punching guys, people that are on the floor. There's a lady in the police officer's arms, and she's yelling, please, please help me, help me. And then all of a sudden she gets dragged down into the crowd screaming, and this cop just looks ahead and doesn't even flinch or do anything. And the judge had said previously, he said, we're not going to talk about anything but your son's your actions, what happened, what you did, not anything before or around it. Well, I didn't know what that meant. That meant, okay, my son got attacked and he got pushed down by the shields, and he was behind at least a line of 15 other people, 15 rows of people, went down, and he's not a big guy, and he came up, and that took my breath away, because I thought, oh my God, he could have got killed. He came up and he shook his head, and he sees this police officer punching people, innocent people that are unarmed on the ground, just beating them up. And he comes up and he pushes the police officer. Now we're sitting there watching what's going on, but we can't say, well, he pushed the police officer because he's beating up these innocent people on the floor. We can't say that. We can only say he pushed the police officer, and the police officers, how'd that make them feel? Did they feel intimidated or scared? So that was what the focus was on the court. They wouldn't let the truth come out. It doesn't matter what the truth is in court. They won't let it come out. They'll do everything. They'll block your witnesses. My son had witnesses flying in and to go and testify about his character and his job. The person that employed him, the owner, flew in to talk, and the FBI contacted them ahead of time and started talking to him about, well, does Salvador have a gun? Well, I think almost everybody started getting guns when Biden got in office and was threatening to take them away. And yeah, he had a gun, but there's no guns at the Capitol. But the guy from his work said, which happens to be his cousin, he said, well, he bought one, but we never took it out of the box or anything. And he's telling how good of a guy Salvador was. And he said, okay, thank you. So then when he got to DC, they said, if you testify, we're going to bring that up, we're going to ask you about that gun, and it can hurt him, so you better not testify. So they set him up so he couldn't even have any witnesses or anything. And on me, they had dropped a felony charge in the beginning, because when I went in, I trusted the FBI, and I have never been so let down my whole life, because I trusted my country. I believed in my country. It's the best country we could ever come from. Yeah. And to find out that they've been pretty much they've been running it. They've been running it horribly. They're Satanists. They're pedophiles. I mean, they're destroying our country. This is our country was based on Christian Judeo values, and they're taking away God out of our country. But when I went to the FBI, You know, I didn't want to go at first because of the fact that they were telling people that they were calling us names that we weren't. We felt like we were being hunted, and we didn't know what to do because, I mean, well, we didn't do anything wrong. So we're like, but we didn't do anything wrong. We didn't do anything wrong. And so when they did arrest us, they came into my house, and my daughter wouldn't let them come up and get me. And there was about 25 people that stormed into my house, and I told them they could have just they could call me. I would have came down. I mean, I've never been in trouble my whole life. But I wanted to make sure, you're never supposed to talk to the FBI. I understand that now. Because it doesn't matter what you tell them, how much faith you have in the system, they don't have faith. And they're not there to find the truth. They're there to try to figure out how they can hang you. Because I told them everything that happened. I gave them everything because I wanted them to know the truth, because I figured this was Iowa, and they go there and they battle for me because I'm an Iowan, you know, and they didn't do that. They're trying to twist everything because Salvador wasn't in the car with me, and they were trying to implicate my son that was a Marine because they were taking 2 videos from December to January. They were confusing those 2 things and trying to say I said that I'm locked and loaded and ready to go to the Capitol because Biden had been infiltrated by China. Okay, that's true. He has been infiltrated by China, but I never said I locked and loaded, ready to go. It was just a comment. I said, if they attack us on the east side, because we were hearing all this stuff, east siders all have guns, and we're locked and loaded and ready to go to protect our homes. That's it. But they took it and they twisted everything up and they used it. But I said my son wasn't in the car, so they charged me with lying to the FBI. And they were, then all of a sudden, and going into an office, which I stood at the door and took that picture, and I had the picture to prove where I was standing. So later on, they ended up dropping that and a felony charge and making it a misdemeanor. But when we went down there, all of a sudden they called me up and started threatening me I was just within minutes of getting down there. The next day with the trial, we were just arriving in DC, and they told me I had 5 minutes. If I didn't take a plea, they were gonna find a loophole, bring back the felony charge, and they were gonna charge me with obstructing the hearing, yep. And they were gonna add 50 years onto my son. And I don't know what mother could. I can't do that to my son.
No.
And my son would. I asked my son. I said, "Hey, I need you to say it's okay, because I'll stand for the truth, but I can't stand there and watch my son get more years. Because how long are we going to suffer through this till the truth comes out and my son is going to be free? Because my son is not going to bend. My son said that he stands beside his truth and he'll die for his beliefs." And he did. He wore a red tie one day, a white tie one day, and a blue tie one day. He loves his country. First vote he ever had that he got to do was Donald Trump. That's the first vote he ever had. And we both went proudly and voted. And we never knew we'd end up walking into this.
No.
But my son stood there in court. I went ahead and took the plea, and I got to tell you, that's the hardest thing I've ever had to do, because I wasn't guilty of anything. I didn't even know that I trespassed because of the fact that there was no barriers.
No.
Right.
They had taken them all down, and there's people already in the Capitol, the ones that broke the Capitol. They were already in there. They said that we were the first ones to know. I had those filmed. They were in there, walking past. They showed me on evidence.com. One guy is filming from outside the window. He came up and he's talking to some guys on the outside of the window, and they waved them for them to come out, and they all started coming out the windows. I got that on film, and so they were the first ones in there, and they showed me coming inside the Capitol on evidence.com, and they said, "You were one of the first people." And I'm watching those people that I was talking to, that I was filming at the window, talking to those guys, walking past the officers before we went in. I thought, okay, how can you not see this guy in there? He's holding a Trump flag, walking up to the windows that were broken, and then they go out through the windows. But it's like they want to ignore everything except for what they want to make people believe we did.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, Deb.
A bunch of criminals.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Deb, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to stop you here, and I hate to do that because we have somebody else calling in a few minutes.
Oh, that's okay.
No, you have been through the mill. I knew a little bit of your story, and I find your posts on Give, Send, Go very inspiring. But
Thank you.
you have been through the mill, and we'll have to talk to you
I
again.
served. I was in prison for 4 months.
I
I
know.
had 5 months.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm sorry. I mean, it's just yours is one of the
Salvador
worst.
was in Minnesota for 7 years. He got 7 years because he told them, they kept him from the moment that he stood before me. They asked him why they should let him go home with the bracelet, and he said, why wouldn't he run? And he said, because I would consider that an act of cowardice, and I'm not a coward.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
And
Yeah.
he's not a coward.
We
And,
believe that.
Oh,
There's a
yes.
lot of people. I feel like I have a family out there with the J6ers, and I'm
Yeah.
praying for everybody, because you're right on that time.
Yeah, we
None of us
are,
are free until all of us are free.
we are one big family.
Amen.
Yes,
But
we
yeah,
are.
Deb, we'll bring you back. The next time we do a live stream, we'll let you know when we're doing it. I know you have the takeoff special from work, don't you?
I did take today off, but I've got a wonderful job, and they held my job for me, so when I came back, and I get to get the truth out through my job too.
So
A lot of
we'll
Americans
try
out there know what's
to,
going on.
yeah, we'll try to work another phone call around your schedule if you have to take off. We usually do 2 to 4 on one Saturday a month, but I think we're gonna probably bump it up since it doesn't get as dark as soon now. So we certainly will let you know when we're gonna be broadcasting again, because I'd like to have you back. Because I think there's more to tell,
love to be
and I know there's been life after
Oh, yeah.
you getting
And
out,
I'd like
and we'd like
to-
to hear about that too.
Yeah, and I'd like to help anybody that's going to prison. I can help them to get through it. I walked in
Yeah.
by myself. My fiance gets sentenced this month in a week. He's gonna be sentenced. So this has been ongoing for 3 years for us.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about your fiance, and I'm sorry to hear that. Or we're sorry.
Well,
to
he
hear
went through every trial with me and Salvador, and then the FBI told us they weren't gonna arrest him because he walked right in and walked out, and then they ended up arresting him as in prison.
No, they don't keep their word.
No, they don't.
Oh,
And
they're not.
And,
Well,
and
they
you,
didn't arrest him at that time.
yeah, and you know that they're still arresting people. Their goal is to
It's
arrest
insane.
another 2,000 this year. At least that's
It's
what I had
sickening.
heard in
And you know
January.
what's worse is that there's people that don't understand what really went on.
I
Because
know.
they'll come after them next.
Yep.
Your story is a horror story. That's it's one of the worst ones I've heard, and I certainly haven't heard them all. But it was just confusion, mass confusion from the
Yeah.
very beginning.
Yeah.
And they fed into that. I think they wanted to
Yeah.
generate, to create mass confusion.
They did.
It was orchestrated.
Well, they were shooting us, and then they'd do something, and then we'd fight back, and they'd film us fighting back, which I didn't fight back, but like other people, what they did is they shot those projectiles at us, making us think we had to go and fight for these people or protect ourselves when they were the ones that were doing it.
Right.
Was
That's
it-
right.
Was
Yeah.
it like rubber bullets they were firing at you?
I've seen white projectiles that footballs getting thrown through the air, and somebody saying, "Go pick them up and throw them back at them." I looked at Jason and I said, "I'm not touching that. I don't know what it is."
No.
Because
Yeah.
it could have been a bomb. I don't know. Things were going off, and
Right.
gas was flying everywhere. It was just horrible. It's not anything I ever thought I'd see on American soil.
Oh, I know. Neither the rest of us. We never saw we would see it either.
No.
So.
And my heart goes out to everybody that's going through this.
Yeah, well, our hearts go out to you too, honey. I'm glad you're sitting on this side of the situation now, and I know God's going to be there for you, and God's got a purpose in all this. It's hard to see it sometimes, but
Nobody needs
I
to
know
be afraid
that
of prison.
He's got
Tell
you,
them-
and that he's going to take you forward.
And tell everybody not to be afraid of prison. There's a lot of people in there, and they were cheering us on because they know that this federal government's corrupt, and they'll see the corruptness once they get in
Yeah.
there. But God will move in them while they're there. They'll be closer to God when they're in there.
Oh, absolutely, and
Amen.
I know, I'm imagining, or I'm sure that there are some who have either rededicated their lives to the Lord or dedicated their lives initially because of the contacts they've had and made in prison, and and even in that, God's used it for something good in their own lives.
Yeah. and send a letter to everybody. Those letters meant so much.
Oh, you so
Every time I
you're
got
so
a letter, I'd
welcome.
go up in my cell and I'd get some tears.
Oh,
But
I'm
it was
sure.
happiness that somebody out there cared.
Yeah, so,
The whole
Okay,
world's gonna
Mike.
know about it.
Well, thank you.
yeah,
It's
you're
throwing
welcome,
on the
Deb.
whole world
We'll-
right now. We'll work
And we'll
together.
certainly have you back, and, you know, Roy will keep in touch and let you know what's going on, and, you know, we'll set a date for when you can come back.
Okay, thank you. God
Okay.
bless.
You're welcome,
God
Deb.
bless you,
God bless
Deborah.
you too.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye.
I think
Well,
it's
that-
because my volume was up. I turned my volume down a
Yeah,
little
we didn't
bit.
have any feedback that time.
Yeah,
Okay, good.
so-
That was fine.
Yeah,
That was moving.
that was just,
That's one of the, you know, and that day was just confusion from start to
oh,
end.
absolutely it was.
And, yeah, I don't know what to say.
It was orchestrated at the highest level by the CIA. Just like they overthrow governments all over the planet, that's what they did here. They overthrew our government and tried to make it look like we did it.
It could well be.
But, you know, they're not getting away with it. They're not.
No,
The world is waking up to this whole stuff.
God's justice
All
is
their
perfect.
crazy wars.
So,
I'm gonna get my water.
oh, okay, yeah. So our next caller coming in, I guess I don't really need that, do I? Our next caller is gonna be Angie Corson. So, she should be, maybe I'll text her and let her know.
Yeah,
that
good
we're-
idea.
That we're free and ready for her. That seemed to work. All right, where are you, Angie?
Where's she from?
I think they're from Florida. I think.
She and her daughter had flown in to visit Ed when,
Yeah.
well, they were visiting her son, but they came to our stream. This is last year. Wasn't here. I can't find where I put my water. There it is.
Okay. I just texted Angie to let her know that we were ready for her, so I imagine she'll be calling in a couple minutes here. So she'll be giving us an update on Mason and letting us know what's going on with him and what's going on with her, you know, their family. I know he has a son
That's right, he has a
who
young
was
son.
born right before he was arrested. I think he only was able to see his son a couple of times.
Wow.
And I'm thinking maybe his son is now almost 3, no?
That'd probably be about right, yeah.
Yeah. But in the letter that he sent to Gateway Pundit, he's talking about his son getting ready to go to school. And he said that maybe his son was 2. I forget. I read several today, so they're all kind of mixed together. But anyway, he hasn't talked to him for a while. And before he was arrested, his son was talking, but not very fluently. And he is talking very fluently now. And one thing in this letter that just really tore my heart was that during the conversation, his son asked him where he was and when he was coming home. And that just, in the context of the whole letter, that just really tore my heart out. I lost it when I got to that point.
His son would
he's-
hardly know him. We wouldn't even remember him other than on a phone call.
Yeah, so, and I'm sorry, I don't have all those facts quite straight, because like I said, I read several
Oh, yeah.
Gifts That Go
Blends
posts
together.
this morning, and they're kind of all mixed together. But it is just a very poignant letter, and if you go on Gifts and Go, I think it's Mason Carson, or Corson.
Courson.
Yeah, J6 political prisoner, I think that's the way the article starts out. And it just is a very, very poignant letter about some of the things he's experienced, some of the things he's worked through. And I forget how much time he got,
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I can't remember.
I'm looking.
I know Taylor Jonatoxis, I think he got 87 months. Is that right?
Yes, that is right.
87 months. And that just, I felt like I got gut punched when I read that in his wife's posts. And now that he's out of DC, he's in Philadelphia, I guess waiting to be transferred to wherever he's going.
It just shows how terrified these criminals are of what we're doing, what the human race is trying to do now, just to straighten the world out. They're terrified.
They don't want to give up their power.
You gotta remember, these people are cornered. They're cornered.
So anyway, I'm thinking maybe his, Taylor's wife might be willing to call in at some point. I don't have any direct contact with her. I was gonna try to maybe get it, right to Taylor and get contact with his wife through him and invite her to call in at some point on our live stream. They have 5 children, and there are some older. And so I was thinking maybe it would be a nice tribute to him to allow them to speak also and share what this whole ordeal has been like for them from their perspective. And just, we rarely ever get to talk to any of the children because they're so young, most of them. So here's a situation where there are older children. I think it would be nice to hear how they're doing and how all of this has affected them from their perspective. And so, okay, this is Angie. Hey, Ange.
Hi, Tina.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Let me turn the mic on here so
Yeah.
everybody can hear you. Okay.
There we go. Here we
Go ahead.
Okay. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Angie.
Well,
Hi.
So how
How's
are
everybody doing?
We're doing well. How about yourself, my dear?
I'm doing okay, hanging in there, getting ready to go see Mason in about 2 weeks. So
Oh,
looking
that's-
forward to that. A little excited.
Yes, that's awesome. That really is.
Yes.
Where's he at, Angie?
He is at Coleman Low in Coleman, Florida, which is about an hour north of Orlando.
And you guys are from Florida too, right? If I remember right.
Yes, we're in South Florida. I'm about 4 hours away. It's about a 4-hour drive.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good. So how is he doing?
So he's doing pretty well. I actually spoke to him a little while ago. Coleman's been, I guess you could say, a blessing in disguise, considering some of the jails that he's been in. He's spent, as you guys know, over a year at Northern Neck,
Yeah.
which was just horrific. I myself try to not think of things that happened there, but that place, there's just nothing comparable to that place. So considering where he is now, he said the guards are pretty good to them.
Good.
In the low facility, it's a little different than the mediums, and the highs that he's been at. So, they get to go outside a little bit more often, although right now they're locked down. But it's definitely the best of where he's been.
Okay.
Good. Glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Are there any other J6ers with him?
They do. I don't know them all by name, but in the low, I know right now, I just heard yesterday, there's about 9 J6ers in the low facility. I know that for sure that Ethan Nordine's in the medium security there. So they have quite a few J6ers there, and I know that there's about another 2 that are coming, I believe, this coming week. So, it's growing. It's growing there, the number of J6ers, which isn't surprising considering the number of J6 arrests in Florida is the highest. So
Right.
not surprising there at all.
Does he have any contact with any of them?
There's only one in his unit. The low facility has several units, and there seems to be about two guys in each. They have them kind of spread out.
Yeah.
So he does have one J6er with him. The other ones, when we've gone for visitations, we've seen, he'll point them out and say, hey, that's a J6er, that's a J6er. So they're all kind of scattered about.
Well, it's nice to know that at least there's somebody else there that they share a common experience with.
Yes, for sure, for sure.
I think that's where Michael Perkins is.
He is, that's the only family that I'm really familiar with. I see his wife almost every time that I'm there visiting, and we keep in contact on X. And so I do get to see her there with her kids visiting him. I don't believe they're in the same unit, but they do know each other, and I think they've spent a couple days together. So yes, I'm familiar with the Perkins family. They're the only ones I know by name.
Yeah, we've talked to Brittany already on our stream. And yeah, amen.
Yes, so good.
So, I did read his letter, Angie.
Oh, you did? I'm so glad to hear that.
On the one he sent to Gateway Pundit.
Yes.
I didn't get all the way through it without breaking down. It's don't be sorry. Don't be sorry.
I'm so sorry. It's not to make you cry. I'll tell you.
No, it's quite all right.
Yeah.
It's I think the part that got to me the most was when we was talking to his son.
Yeah.
And his son asked him where he was and when he was coming home.
Yeah. Yeah, his son the other day heard the little recording that says, "This is a call from a federal prison," and he said, "What is that, Daddy?"
Yeah.
And he said, "Mom, I didn't know what to do. I just said, oh, nothing, that's just work." We try to, not let him hear that little part of the recording, because he's going to be 5 soon, and he's starting to understand a little more. But it's just, Tina, it's debilitating at times. There's days that we're all hanging in there and doing much better. And I think I might have texted you and explained that, he's had a few moments recently where he just hasn't sounded like himself, and I'll say what's wrong, and he'll say, "I'm just ready to go home. I shouldn't be here."
I know.
And I just shouldn't be here. And, I'm positive that every single one of them feel that way.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
Yeah. And, I would just like to say, I had this discussion on Twitter the other day with somebody, and I just said, it doesn't even matter at this point what the charges are, who's been found guilty, who's done what, who hasn't done what. None of them should be there.
That's right.
The amount of sentencing that has been given to these men goes way beyond what they should have been given, even the ones that did do what they're charged with. And at the end of the day, we all know it was a setup, and it's just they're being made examples of. Yeah. I just thank God every day, and I'm not just saying this, that Mason seems to have been strong enough. There's many people that have taken their lives, that have tried to flee, that have done things. And every time I'm feeling low, I remind myself that there's families that don't have their loved ones anymore because of this day. Yeah. And that's truly what keeps me going. Mason's going to be home one day. Mason's healthy. And I'm sure any one of those families would trade spots with me in an instant.
Yeah. Yep. And, as bad as it is, you can always remember or know that somebody else's situation may not be as good.
Yes, 100%. And I appreciate you reading. I tried to just let everybody know that he sent an article over to them again, like a little update. For those that do follow me or follow his story or know him, it's important. It's good to hear from them. It's good for them to explain what goes on inside and, how they're hanging in there and what they're doing to pass their time.
Yeah. And I know that last time we had texted, I had asked you I had given you permission to go ahead and have him put me on his email. I have not heard yet.
Okay.
Do you know if
they are sometimes delayed?
Of course they are.
Yeah, I know that it's very odd. There's days like I wanted to call and tell him something exciting the other day, and I said, "Call me," and he called me like in an hour.
Yeah.
And I didn't even think. So I started telling him, and he goes, "Oh, that's why you sent that message." And I said, "You got it already?" And it's like there's times that it's almost like in real time, and then there's other times that it'll take the message is like a week late.
Yeah,
So I'm not sure what the rhyme or reason is, but I did tell him. I hope he did it. He said he was going to go do it right away.
Okay,
So
good. All right.
should be momentarily.
okay, well, good, well,
It's called
just let him-
Cy War.
yeah, just let him know that that I'm looking forward to getting into contact with him and just, letting him know there's one more patriot out here that's standing with
Oh,
him.
thank you so much.
And,
Thank you so much.
We're pulling for him and supporting him and we're trying to do all that we can out here, which from my perspective doesn't seem like a whole lot. But
I
I know
know.
from their perspective, it means a whole lot more.
Yeah, sure. It just helps them feel not forgotten.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just helps them feel that. So every letter, every call, every text, anything means so much. I'm still in awe sometimes when I say to myself, these are people that didn't know of us prior to all of this. And it's amazing how the consistent support stems more from people like you guys than it does sometimes from family, believe it or not. I think
I believe
families
it.
sometimes, they're nervous to ask you. They don't want to upset you. They don't want you thinking or crying. And a lot of times when people don't ask, it's almost worse, right?
Yes.
So the support has just been tremendous, and really it's gotten us through. So, forever grateful for that.
And I guess one of my, reasons for, contacting the guys that I do write to is because I want them to know that they're not forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
that
for sure.
It's almost, from my perspective, it's an honor and a privilege to write to them because they stood up for me.
Yeah.
And they're paying an incredible price for my freedom right now. And
Yeah.
I feel like it's the least I can do.
For
Yeah.
sure. For
Yeah,
sure.
We need to let them know they're loved and supported
Yep.
in any way that we can.
Yes. And they know that. Like right away when I told Mason I had a call with Tina, he was like, "Oh, they're still doing that?"
Yeah, we
like,
are.
yeah,
Yes, that's
no,
right. He
they're
was
still
in
doing it.
Lewisburg. That's right. I
Yeah.
just momentarily forgot that. That's how we connected.
Yeah, I
Because
remember.
you had come up for his birthday.
Right. We were in Lewisburg and we got to meet in person, and I think I
Yes.
called in one other time as well. But
Yep.
he's been quite a while there.
He
So
did, yep.
So I forgot how long, maybe like 6 months there,
Yeah,
but
something like that.
before going to DC.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he definitely was with a lot of
Yeah.
a lot of men that have gone through that place.
Yep. I don't know if you'll be able to tell him or not. Tell him James gets sentenced in June.
Oh, James Grant.
Yeah.
Yeah, his friend. I definitely will.
Yep. I wasn't sure how well they knew each other, although I knew they were in the same pod in Lewisburg, but,
Yeah, they spent time, I believe, in Northern Neck, quite a bit of time together also.
oh my goodness, that place must just have been just horrible.
Horrific.
Something
That place should be shut down, but I know you guys probably know the story. It's a privately owned facility.
Yep, it's privately owned.
That the federal government, I guess,
Rents
rents
a
space, so to
space, yeah.
speak.
It's not even federal, it's not even county, it's private.
I know, so they
Yeah,
can
but-
do.
But
we
let him
learned the
know,
hard way.
let him know that there's a weekly vigil there that has
Uh-huh.
continued after all the J6ers left every Friday night.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep,
I
and
know that they
and
were doing it.
There are some people in this vigil who are part of this vigil who are actually meeting with and part of the prison board for that facility.
Yeah, it's insane. I know that the Northern Neck, the newspaper that they did, we were in constant contact with them and sharing stories, and there was a lot of people fighting for those men inside, and it became not just about them, it became about all inmates there.
Yes, and
The abuse there is horrible, the food's horrible, the treatment's horrible. It's just really a terrible situation there.
And I think that's why they have continued the vigil, because they want to continue to bring attention to all the inmates who are still there.
Yes, yeah, which is amazing.
And I think if they took their eyes off of that place, it would rapidly deteriorate back to the way it was.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And
I'm sure.
at least it's not great, but at least it's a bit better than it was.
Yeah, Yeah, and I'll tell you, their work really matters. I keep in touch, which I'm going to text as soon as I'm done with this call, Tom from the Northern Neck Patriots. And
Yeah, he came up here. He came up here
He's one
and
of my
said in our vigil
favorites.
one time. I'm sorry, I overstepped you.
No, it's okay. He's one of my favorites. I think he is an incredible human being.
He is.
And you know, I said to him, whatever you guys did on those Wednesday nights when they went in there and full force with their facts and their letters, and you know, they just stood with the sheriffs and so forth, you know, right away they started sending our guys out of there to Lewisburg. That's how Mason ended up in Lewisburg.
Yeah.
And they were sending them, you know, I think in five at a time every other week until they all got out, which shows you that they didn't want to deal with them anymore.
Right, and it also shows us that our response and our phone calls and our letters and our emails do make a difference. Because there was
100%.
enough pressure put on them that they didn't want the attention.
Sure.
They didn't want to be in the spotlight anymore, and so they got them out of there. And,
Sure.
you know, it just feels good to know that all of us collectively out here had a part
Yes.
in helping alleviate the suffering that they were enduring in there,
Yeah.
and we're really able to get them out.
Yeah, and I think it speaks volumes for the character of the men that were in there during that time.
Yes.
Where, you know, I would say, Mason, are you sure you want this printed in the paper? And he would say, yes. And I would say, but they're gonna read it. There's gonna be repercussions. I mean, they all suffered it.
Yeah.
And these men are just the type of men, like on that day of January 6th, that when they stand for what they believe in,
Yep.
you know, it's worth it. It's worth it for them. And it just speaks volume. This is who the majority, you know, I can't speak for all of them that I have
Right.
grown to know. They are. They're just
Yeah.
that type of a person.
And it really blesses me to know that we still have that type of man in our country.
Yes, it seems fewer and fewer, right? But
Yeah.
when you see it, it does give you hope. You know, it does give you hope.
Amen. There's still, how would you say it, patriot material out there. That's not a good way to put it, but there's still almost founders material.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And you know, I look at it as like real men, you know, when I think
Yes.
of like my dad and the example he set,
Absolutely.
like, you know, for me, men are protectors, and
Yep.
and men should be the ones that lead a family, and men should stand up for what's right or wrong. Not that women shouldn't, but that's, you know, they're the leaders. You know, at the end of the day, that's part of the problem in the country and the world today,
Yeah.
is that men aren't men. I mean, that's just
Right.
my opinion,
Yeah.
but
They've been emasculated. They've
Yes.
been, you know, because of lack of fathers in the home for now 20, 30 years. Boys growing up aren't taught how to be men. And not that their moms aren't doing a great job, because there are a lot of situations where moms are doing a great job, but they still can't add that component of teaching their son how to be a man.
right.
And so
Right.
we have a whole couple generations of boys and young men who have no idea how to function in that role. And
Yeah,
that's
sure.
and that's how God made them to be, but they still need instructed and trained and mentored. And if they don't have that, they go into adulthood, they have no idea what to do.
Yes, absolutely correct.
I mean, it's just, you know, and it's just such a blessing to know that we have men who are out there who still carry that God-given development and have grown up to be adults who know what it means to be a protector and a provider and the spiritual leader of their households, and you know, they're still out there, and it's just amazing.
Yes, I agree completely.
So how are Mason has a twin sister, right?
No, not twin. They're 2 years apart.
Oh,
I
are
have
they?
a daughter, Megan, whose
Okay.
birthday's next week. She'll be 26. And then I have, he has a younger brother, Jared, who'll be 21 in May. And we usually try to visit him together. Lately it's been rough because of work schedules. So
Right.
I took my daughter like 6 weeks ago just for one day. And then I went to 3 weeks ago now, I think, with my son, and they canceled visits. So we drove up there, got our hotel, woke up early.
my
They said
gosh.
visitation's canceled, and that's happened to us about 3 or 4 times. I'm sure the
that's
Perkins
big.
family has shared that with you.
Yeah, yep.
She actually texted me that morning, hey, I don't know if you're here, but it's been canceled. I said, I'm already on the way home, and it's you know, they don't give you any reasoning. They just say, oh, we were just told today it's canceled. It could be because there's too much fog, it's a holiday, there's not enough staff. I mean,
Too many visitors.
yeah, too many visitors, whatever it is. But I know maybe it's difficult. There should be a better system in place because,
It's called evil.
you know, it's an expense
Sure.
and it's time, and we're going up with my 84-year-old mom in 2 weeks, and I just pray
Yep.
that we at least get in one of the 2 days we're planning on spending with him there.
So when you go up, he's eligible to have visits both Saturday and Sunday?
Right, they have a point system, so they get like 7 points a month, and Mondays are worth 1 point, Saturday and Sunday each are 3 points,
Uh-huh.
and they're only allowed every other weekend visits. So we try to go like a Sunday, Monday,
Uh-huh.
because Saturdays were usually getting canceled, but this time we went on a Sunday and they canceled it. So I'm not sure. We're gonna go again on a Sunday and a Monday,
Yeah,
and we'll see. You know, he never uses all 7 points because of the distance,
right.
but we try to go and do 2 days in a row if we can. If not, I have to drive up twice and try to get one day a weekend.
Yeah. So if he doesn't use all of his points, do they roll over?
No, they do not.
Oh, so they have to start accumulating a new 7 every month.
Yes, every month it starts over for them, the first of every month.
Oh, my.
Yeah, that's
So
my,
it would make,
I'm
I'm sorry, go ahead, Joe.
yeah, that's my experience here too. I visit one of the guys in a facility close to me, but each federal prison is a little bit different, but it's a similar system.
Oh, okay. A point system as well?
Yeah, I think they get like 5 points a month, but then Saturday and Sunday are only 2 points, and Friday's only 1. And if you go on a holiday, it's none. So if I have free time in the mornings, but you gotta call
Well, you
in
know,
advance.
it's funny you say that because I was there Easter Sunday and they closed it, and Christmas Day, they canceled visits both holidays.
That's sad.
So they may be no points, but they're closing them.
Right,
So,
yeah.
Yes.
you
So
know,
it would make more sense to me to go Sunday and Monday because you only use 4
Right.
points. So you still
then
have
there's a
3
chance I
for
can-
another day if you're close enough
Sure.
and you can come in and visit.
oh, if I lived close, I'd go every Monday,
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I just can't do that.
Oh, I understand. And in kind of in perspective, you're closer than a lot of people are.
Yes, yes.
I know Zach Rule is in Virginia, and I'm pretty sure Mason might know him. And Zach's wife and baby girl are in Philly, and that's a 7-hour trip for them.
Yeah. It's horrible. Some of these men have been placed really far
Yeah.
away from
Yeah.
where they live, which
Right.
is not how it's supposed to be.
No.
Because everything that I've learned is they're supposed to try to put you as close to home as possible, just
Right.
for the mental health of the inmate,
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
to be able to have their visits.
And-
But it just hasn't turned out that way.
Right. Theoretically, Zach actually could be in Philly, but I don't know whether they would put them that close. But the other option was they could have put him in Lewisburg. And
Okay,
that's a 2.5 or 3 hour drive.
right,
You
right.
know, and
Even
it-
that would
and
have been
it's,
better.
and it's in PA.
Right,
And so, you know, so even with that, they are trying to make things as difficult as they can.
yes, yes.
So how's your daughter and son doing? I mean, I know they're older, but still.
They go in and out. They go,
Yeah.
you know, in phases. But it's very, you know, especially my daughter. I don't know if it's because she's a girl, but she gets definitely more emotional, and
Uh-huh.
every time she sees him, she cries. And
Oh, I'm sure.
you know, when we leave him, the car rides are usually silent for a little bit. You know, And I always say, God, he should be coming home with us. This is crazy. You know, you feel like it's such an odd feeling, Tina. It's like, how are they telling me I can't take my kid? Like, you know, even though he's a grown man, I'm like, he's mine. He's not your, you know. It's so hard to process. But, you know, she is definitely, I don't want to say my son's not as affected, but you know, maybe she just shows it more.
He probably shows it differently.
Yeah.
Internalizes it a lot more.
Yeah. Like he'll ask me, have you talked to Mason? What did Mason say? When was the last time he calls? Like, tell him to call me. Like he'll ask more, which I think is his way of showing she's the one that'll just put a post on Instagram, and then my friends will call and say, did you see her post? And then I'll call her and she'll be crying. Yeah. You know, so she definitely expresses it differently. But, you know, I'll tell you, none of us will ever be the same. No. I think it's woken us up. I was on a Twitter space the other day, and the topic was how that whole generation in their 20s, from 20 to 30, how there was little hope. You know, like these kids are so brainwashed and they're so left and liberal. And I said, you know, I don't think it is solely because of what's happened to us with Mason and what's going on with him now. But my kids are pretty conservative minded on their own. That hasn't been from me as little children growing up. You know, my daughter is very much pro-life. My daughter is very much looking for a man that's a man, so to speak. You know, she has her views, and they're strong. And my son is finishing up. He wants to be a fireman, and he talks all the time about having children and having a lot of children. And it's funny because I sit back and I say, you know, I think that's just what the media is trying to convince us is going on and what social media is pushing. But I don't believe it's as bad as it is. I think there's much more youth that has, you know, the same values, and they're thinking the same things, like what the hell's going on. And they're not okay with it. They don't agree with it. And you know, I think that it has opened their eyes, and I'm grateful for that. They definitely don't fall into the whole comply and agree. And I think that's important. I think that's very important. And in retrospect, you know, Mason will tell you himself, he feels that as much as he felt he was great prior to this, he's going to be better. He's going to be stronger, as well as all of us. You know, it's just changed us. And our lives in a lot of ways have become lonelier. You know, we speak to less people, we've lost friends, little friction with certain family members and things like that. But in the end, it's better. You know, we feel better.
And going along to what you said about the kids, I heard somebody talking about something that Charlie Kirk had said recently. I mean, he tours all the college campuses.
Yeah, he's amazing.
And he is. And he has noticed, especially among the young college men from like 19 to 29, they are way more conservative. They are tired of what the left is trying to make them be. And they are very, very much awake.
And which is so great to hear.
And I just was so blessed by that statement, because they're of that younger generation. They're our leaders. And I thought, how amazing that they are seeing through all of the crap that the left and the woke agenda is trying to put on them, that they aren't wusses, they aren't effeminate, they are men. And they're stepping into that place of who they are and who they're supposed to be. And I think that's just amazing. And they're really doing it kind of on their own, so to speak.
Right. And coming from Charlie Kirk, I mean, that makes me happy. I watch all his video clips all the time where they debate, you know, outside of the
I do
school.
too. I just love it.
I love it. They can't even answer a question. He's like, you don't even have a reasoning.
I know.
You just feel this way because you're being told to.
Right.
You know, and so if he's noticing that, because I'm sure there's a lot we don't see that's not recorded in conversations that he has, I think that's more hope for us.
Yes, it is. And I was just very, very grateful to hear that coming from him because he sees the college campuses all over the country. So it's not just an isolated one here or there. I think it's a broad stroke of the brush, and he's seeing it all over the country.
Yes.
So. So
Angie.
Go ahead, Roy.
Angie, I remember that time you came to spend the vigil with us last year. I remember it was warm weather because we were outside, and
Yes.
that was so special. I just have good memories of that.
Oh, yeah, my daughter was with us, yes.
Yeah, she was. Yep. And it was it your birthday or was it Mason's birthday?
I want to say I thought it was his birthday.
I thought so too. And when he called in, then we said, "This is your time with your mom."
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That felt so good to be able to say that I just
know.
wanted him to know that this was his time with you, and that we were just gonna step out of the way and let you guys have it.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think, I don't think that was the first time that we visited that they allowed us to actually touch because, well, they allowed you to hug, but then you were still behind the plexiglass.
Right.
Oh, really?
And then the last visit that we got there before they moved him,
Yeah.
and ironically, we saw him, whatever day it was, a Saturday or Sunday, we went up there, and they moved him like that following Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah.
So we looked up because in DC, I even though I could have gone to visit him in DC, he didn't want me to.
Yeah.
He said, "Do not come here. It is not good. Do not waste your time." And they were short visits there. It wasn't
Right.
like a whole day thing.
Right.
But I remember it was just so odd being able to like sit close to him,
Oh.
And at least now when we go see him, it's, we can sit next to him. I'm constantly like leaning over and touching him.
Right. It's almost like you have to believe that he's there, that it's real.
Yeah. And part of the hard thing, and I'm sure every family member can agree with me on this, especially those of us like myself that are more boisterous and out there, is that it gets me a little angry. Like as I hear myself talking now, we've almost gotten to the point where we're like, oh, it's so great, I got to touch him. Oh, look, he gets to go outside. Like, it's not great. It's not good that he gets to go. These are his freedoms and his rights that have been taken from him. And all of a sudden, we're complacent and we're starting to go, okay, well, at least he gets his commissary. At least he can have magazines now. Right. And do you understand what I'm saying? Like,
yes,
we're almost starting to be okay with it.
Except what he has, instead of being still angry of what's been taken away.
Right. And being angry takes a lot of energy.
It does.
And so what I noticed was after his sentencing, I kind of disappeared a little bit. I just was exhausted.
Yeah.
And I think that I was on full go mode for 2 years.
Yeah.
And once we had a final end date, I kind of just like hid for a little bit. And then now as I'm starting to come back around, I'm noticing it's exhausting. When you talk about it, when you get on spaces, when you share your stories, it's healing, but it also, like just now I had that moment where I'm like, this isn't okay. It's
Right.
not great that I get to go see him for 7 points a month. Like this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it's easier to say, okay, he'll be home in a year and a half and kind of lay back, but it's BS.
Yeah, it is.
But we're battling tyranny, and it's not always fun, but we're going to win.
Yeah.
We're winning.
Hey,
Yeah.
Angie, our moderator on our live stream, Deb, I didn't realize she had done this, but she made a video clip of your visit with us last year. And it's posted on Rumble, so I'll share the link with Tina.
Send me the link, please. I'll share it. Yeah.
I will. That's awesome.
For sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's so great. Tell her thank you.
Yeah, and she just heard you say that, because, she's got to be one of the best mods out there.
Yeah, she is. She's just such a blessing, and she puts up
Oh, that's good.
all
Lucky
kinds
you
of
guys.
information. Does she
Yeah,
have
that's
his
great.
address up there? Did she put that up there?
I'm sure.
I'm sure she did. I shouldn't even question that.
Right, it's already done. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's there.
She put it up already.
She
I
also
think
posted.
Excellent.
Also posted links to the Gateway Pundit article and to your X account.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yep,
Thank
so-
you so much.
So you're in the loop, honey.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Yes, thank you. Let her
You're
know.
welcome, you're welcome.
Yeah, Deb, go ahead and do that. She's gonna direct message the link to you
Yes.
for the
Perfect.
Rumble link.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And Tina, I will double check with Mason. I'm actually
Okay.
gonna send him a message on Core Links now, just
Okay.
reminding him, making sure he
Yeah.
sent the request out to you.
Okay,
And, you know, so you can communicate with him as well.
yeah, because I would just really be blessed to do that.
Yeah, no, he would love it. He would love it.
So, well, listen, Jeremy Brown is gonna be calling in here shortly, so we're gonna have to, I guess, say goodbye here, but,
Listen, I don't know Jeremy Brown, but if you can relay a message, I know a lot of people. I have a Jeremy Brown shirt that was given
Okay.
to me at Trump Doral by a very good friend of mine, Helena Gibson, and these people are all out here in Florida fundraising for him. And Ken Harrelson's wife, Angel, is a friend of mine, and she's making all kinds of things that she's selling for him. So we've never met, but you tell him that Mason Corson's mom
Okay.
knows who he is. He's got my love and my prayers and my support, and he's got one hell of a team out here
Amen.
fighting for him. So like I said, I've never had the honor of speaking to him, or I don't know him, but I know the ones right close to him.
Okay.
And it's quite a group.
okay. Well, it sounds like that's the core for his next run at the Senate or
Yeah.
for Congress.
Yes,
And
yes.
actually, he did pretty well. He
Yeah,
really
I
did.
know.
He
They
did.
were telling me.
I
They
know,
were
so
telling me. You did really well.
I'm sure he'll be
So-
attempting it again.
Yes, for sure, and he should.
Yes, I think he should too. Yep,
And he should. I
absolutely.
think they all should. I think that's something these men should all look into.
Yeah, yep. So, all
You
right,
know?
my dear,
All
I
right,
will.
thank you guys so much.
Oh,
I
you're so
appreciate it.
welcome, and give him a hug for all of us when you see
I
him
will,
next.
I will.
Yeah,
God bless you,
That-
Angie.
that'll give you an
Thank
excuse
you.
to give him a couple more.
Yes, yes, I kind of, my daughter's like, Mom, stop touching him. I'm like, I can't.
No, he's your baby right now.
He's my baby, that's
Yep,
right.
he's your
always.
baby.
All
I'll be
right,
doing the
thank you
same
guys.
thing, I'm sure. Okay, Ange, we'll talk to you later, honey.
Bye-bye now.
All right,
Bye-bye.
bye.
Yep,
Bye.
bye-bye, love you.
That was a good call.
That was a good call.
I gotta run, but thanks. Thank you
Yes,
guys
yes,
very
and
much.
thanks for stopping in and hanging out with us for a while.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
And send us out links once in a while. Are they posted on their website or on the Facebook page?
Well, they're actually posted on, but you can't see the chat if you go in later, can
I
you?
think you can, I don't know the details, maybe Deb, help me out.
Just have her text me all the links that she has included today, and then I can print them out and I can put them on our J6 board here.
Did you hear that, Deb? If you didn't hear it, I'll type it in.
Yeah, go ahead, type it in. Yeah, well, I'll see if I can get a list of them, and I'll put them up here on the board,
Great.
okay?
But I think if you go on YouTube, go to our channel and watch our
What is your
stream,
channel called?
It's
just called J6 Vigils.
J6
Okay,
Vigil.
good.
Yep,
I think the chat will come up if you subscribe.
yeah.
If you're a
Yeah, you have
subscriber.
to subscribe,
Obviously, it's after the fact, so you can't interact with it. But
Yep.
but at least you
see
can
it.
read it.
But it would be easier just to message.
Alrighty, J6 Visual.
Yep, okay, Ed, thank you very
Thank you, man.
much.
Yep, catch you later.
Yep,
And now it's almost time for dinner.
yep. Well, obviously Olivia wasn't able to come.
No, but it
And I
worked out
realized,
good.
I didn't realize what time it was until it was like 20 of, and I thought, well, she's probably not gonna be calling.
Right, and
Because
that's fine.
she said 5 minutes in, if she hadn't called by 5 minutes, she wasn't gonna be
Yeah,
able to call.
if she had,
Yeah, and that clock is 5 minutes fast, and I was.
Is it?
Yes, I think.
no, it's just right on the money, actually, according, unless my
I
wife.
got 3:51. Yeah, it is, 'cause then maybe somebody put new batteries in.
Somebody said it. Yeah,
I'd reset it, so.
no, it worked out fine. I just hope
Yes, it did.
Hope the folks in DC soon get back to normal for their sakes.
Yes, I do too. So, Olivia and James will be at first dibs when we do our next one.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yes, thank you, Deb. I
And
think
then
our clocks have
maybe we
synchronized.
can, maybe Taylor's wife will be able to,
Yeah.
would be willing to call in next time around.
And maybe the Pollock family.
Yes, yep. So, I think part of what we were getting feedback on my phone is the volume was too high.
Could be, and it was
Because
interacting with the mic.
Yeah, it was feedbacking into the mic, and I couldn't change it while we were talking
No.
to Cash, because I needed a third hand.
And that's all lessons learned. We can-
Yes, oh yes,
Yeah.
and I know other broadcasts, I've brought the volume down some, I just didn't do it today, before we started.
And we can still understand Cash,
Yes.
so, yeah.
Yeah, and the interference wasn't coming from his end, so that's why I think we were able to understand him. It was just reverberating when I talked.
But first I thought it was from his end, but it's
Yeah.
electronics and it's acoustics and it's all stuff.
And I know when he called in the last time, he was watching the show, and he called in, and so we were getting feedback on his end, we were getting an echo. And I didn't realize that was going on until we were just about ready to end the
Oh,
call.
you mean Cash was?
Yeah.
He was on, oh, yeah, 'cause that
He
would
was
cause
watching, he
feedback,
was
yeah.
watching the stream.
Right,
And he
right.
called in while had it live, and that interfered with the conversation, but it was all good. So we're just waiting for Jeremy Brown to get back to his housing unit. He had a visit with his girlfriend and I believe another friend of theirs from 1:45 to 3:45. It takes about 7 to 10 minutes for him to get back to his housing unit. So he probably should be calling in here in a couple minutes.
Yeah, we're gonna go a little bit late today, but
Yes,
that's
we
okay.
will. Yep.
I made sure
And,
to free up some more space on my phone.
Special treat for everybody. So hope you guys can hang around for a little bit, because Jeremy is always just incredibly
Yeah.
informative and very articulate, and he just always has some really great stuff to share. So we'll just give him a couple more minutes to get back to his housing unit and get online.
We had talked about maybe going back to every 2 weeks. Is that something you would want to?
I've been thinking about it, at least, while the days are longer.
Yeah.
Through spring and summer, maybe May to September, and then go back to
Yeah.
when the daylight starts, evenings start getting darker sooner, we can go back to once a month.
Yes. Would you want to, well, I tell you what, I was maybe make this a decision today. Let's think about it, and then we'll let
Yeah.
everybody know. If we're gonna stream in 2 weeks, we'll let
Yeah.
everybody know.
Well, we
if it-
can't institute 2 weeks, because there's an event here.
Oh, okay, okay.
But.
Just wait till May. then we'll
Yeah,
start.
I think May probably would be a good time to increase our live stream, if that's what we really feel God wants us to do. And I'm kind of feeling, sort of leaning in that direction, but we'll still kind of sit on it for a little bit and see how God wants us to do that. Okay, I wonder if this is timing. Okay, I just got a message from Tylene, who is Jeremy Brown's girlfriend or fiance, or I'm not sure what the relationship is. She said I just left jail. He should be calling any minute. So,
Wonderful, perfect time.
yeah, perfect
I
timing.
gotta get up and move around a little bit. Oh.
Jog your place till he calls. Okay, we are ready for him. So I just texted her back and told her that we were ready for him, so we'll be taking his call as soon as it comes in.
We haven't spoken with Jeremy for a while, and he's
No, we
always,
haven't, yeah.
he's easy to listen to. He's a
He
treasure
is.
trove of information.
Yes.
And insight.
Yes.
What's your next event here, Tina, at the Patriot Center?
We have a regular meeting on Monday night. This
That's
coming
once a
Monday.
month or once every 2 weeks?
Every other week.
Okay.
It's every other week. But the event that I was talking about on the 27th is an art show, and we are featuring all the homeschoolers in our area. I don't know how big an area that it covers, but we have 168 participants, and they have 4 different categories that they can show their art. And it's more than just painting and drawing. It's all kinds of sculpture and all kinds of other stuff that they do as homeschoolers. But it's going to give them a chance to display everything that they do from the creativity standpoint of their curriculum. And we're just really anticipating a really good showing for them.
That's great. That sounds
Yeah, it's
wonderful.
100. We thought maybe we might get 50 or 60 kids, maybe. And we had to draw the line at 168.
Wow.
And so we were just really excited about that. We have a lady who does homeschooling in our group, and she really has spearheaded this, and she's worked with the woman who oversees the curriculum that she teaches her kids. And this woman just ran with this, and she has pulled in, I think, just somebody from just about every family that she oversees in, I don't, maybe it's a tri-county area, like coming in Clinton and maybe Union County. And she just has been phenomenal in helping us put this together. And we're just really excited. We're hoping this becomes an annual event, so these kids get this incredible exposure. And so people and the public can see that homeschooling just isn't, sitting at home and twiddling your thumbs, that the kids really are getting a balanced and just an incredible education without all the garbage that they get shoved down their throats in public schools.
Amen to that.
Yeah, Jeremy should be calling here in a couple minutes. We thought about 3:55, but depending on when he left, I guess, the visitor center, and it takes about 10 minutes for him to walk back to his housing unit, so he has to get in and get his cell and get in the cell and get online, so maybe 12 or 13 minutes all total till he calls in. So who else is on our chat today, Roy?
We've got Deb, of course, and
Yeah.
Jane, and Lisa.
Hey,
and
Jane.
Trina,
Good to see you.
and then some folks I don't know. Of course, we don't do it often enough to get familiar with who everybody
Right,
is.
but, welcome those who are here maybe
Yeah.
for the first time. We just really appreciate everybody, tuning in and expanding the voice that we're giving
Amen.
the guys and their families. We have expanded it to include their families. I just began to feel it is really important that their families also be given an opportunity to share the things that they've been through from their perspective. And I think Angie Corson is just an incredible example of how families are coping or not coping, and just sharing things from their side. And I would really like to get Taylor, Jonataxis's wife, and maybe their older children to come on a call at some point. I don't have contact with him. I'm going to try to get in contact with him and see if he would think that's a possibility, and then contact his wife and have her contact me, give her my contact information, and just kind of slowly widen the circle and become part of an even greater family in this country, people we would have never known, never rubbed shoulders with, And now we're all supporting each other, and we're all part of this incredible Patriot family that we just love so much. Who else is on there? Who I might know.
Oh, that's right, because you're on the, I can't
Yeah,
watch
I watch Jericho as often as I can. Some weeks it just, my schedule interferes with the times that he broadcasts, and that happened this week, so I feel like I was a little bit out of the loop today.
and I hardly ever do it because I don't have the internet at home.
Right.
So, so you may know some of
I
these
know
folks.
Jane said she would be on, so hi Jane.
Yeah, there's someone called Third of Its Kind.
Okay, I don't recognize that name, although they may do Jericho.
Yeah, Freedom Nuts.
That rings a bell.
Okay. There's, sorry. I'm scrolling back up. Ohio Navy mom was with us, but I think she had to leave. They were going to an overpass to wave flags.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Because that's important now too, that the weather's getting warmer around the country, you know, start hitting those overpasses and wave our flags.
Do you guys still do the Second Amendment thing on the bridge up here?
I think we're going to try to resurrect that this spring.
Yeah.
We have a man in our group who has indicated that he wants to spearhead that.
Now, if I understand right, we'll share this with the people on the stream, that we're near the city of Williamsport in north central Pennsylvania, and the Susquehanna River flows through here. And there's a couple large bridges, large concrete bridges, but don't you guys line up on either side of the bridge with
No, there's
with the
only
rifles?
a walkway on one side.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, we try to, our goal has been to fill the bridge. We have not quite accomplished that. And it sort of fell by the wayside toward the end of summer last year. It really is breezy on top of the bridge, so
Yeah,
we usually
that-
don't do it in the wintertime. But I know because this is an election year and, you know, Trump is gonna be running again, we have a gentleman in our group who wants to spearhead that and get that back up and running, and it's usually on a Friday night between 5 and 7.
But you stand on the bridge with rifles, right?
No,
No, okay, I misunderstood that.
we have a couple security people who are on the bridge, and we have 2 or 3 others who are closed carry, but we don't hold rifles. We just wave flags and
Oh, okay.
banners and
That makes more sense.
and cheer with the horn blows, and the other ones we just say, well, we're standing here for you too.
Well, that's great. I should come up sometime for that.
Yeah,
I
I can let
misunderstood.
you know when we're gonna do it. I don't know that Gordon has really actually started yet, but I can let you know.
Yeah, somebody mentioned that, I thought, wow, they actually hold rifles there. I mean, not that that's illegal. We
Right,
do
right.
that down at the state capitol when we have our Second Amendment rally. You know,
Right,
everybody's
yeah.
peacefully standing there
Yeah.
with the.
Yeah, it really started as showing support for Trump around the time when he ran in 2020. He actually had 2 rallies here in Williamsport at our
That's right,
airport.
That's right.
And after his first rally, we just decided, members in our group decided that we wanted to wave flags on the bridge between Williamsport and South Williamsport to show our support. And then it just really kind of gained some momentum through last summer, and we just had other stuff going on, and we had school board races that we were trying to get off the ground. And so it just kind of petered out, but we do have a gentleman in our group who wants to take that over and try to bring that back and do flag waving on the bridge again. Mostly for showing support again going into the election in November. And I imagine he probably will do more rallies here this summer. He was here in 2020. I'm sure he'll come back and have rallies at the airport here. So we're all looking forward to that.
Tina, I'm wondering if something came up for Jeremy as well.
Maybe.
We
It's
can't,
almost
we
10
won't
after.
wait too long.
Yeah. Let me tell Tyree.
I mean, they are in prison, so it's,
Yeah,
they don't always have control of
Right.
those situations in their phones.
yeah, we probably won't be able to stay on past 10 after.
Well,
I don't know how much time you have on your phone.
well, it's still going, so.
Okay.
I mean, it's not a time issue, it's a storage issue.
I know, that's what I meant. But I figured at some point it's gonna fill up and it's gonna just stop.
Yeah, and we just don't want to go indefinitely either.
Right, yeah.
So we're, yeah, 10 after or 15 after at the latest,
Yeah.
yeah.
And she said she left the prison she sent the text at 3:55, so I imagine, maybe something happened.
We'll give him a few more minutes.
Yeah, we'll give him
It'd
a
be a shame to log
few.
off and then he
Right,
calls.
yeah, I know, that, I
Right.
was just thinking that, what are the law of averages, we take it to a certain point and we shut off and then he calls. It's like, so, does anyone else have any other questions or any comments that you want to put in the chat that we can talk about? And if all of you have not hit the thumbs up, hit that. And just kind of spread the news and encourage others and your friends and family, those you're still talking to join us when we do our next live stream.
After we log off, I want to watch that Rumble video of, from a year ago.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
the Parsons, yeah.
Yeah.
See if I can find that again.
Deb, you've just done an awesome job today. I thank you so much
Oh,
for
yeah.
being here and
Superb.
just helping us out, and you're just such a blessing. We love you.
Well, I'll turn the volume down because it'll interfere,
Yeah.
but that's neat to see that.
Oh my gosh, this is awesome, Deb.
Yeah.
Roy brought up the video of Angie and her daughter talking to Mason last year. That's just so great.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much.
It was May 27th.
May
of last year.
27th,
Okay.
almost a year ago. And I had understood that he and his sister, his older sister, were twins. I'm not quite sure where I got that information
Yeah, well,
from, but I was under the impression that they were twins. And it's okay that they're not.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I did let Angie or Tylene know that he hadn't called yet.
Yeah.
So
Not that
she
would
might
any
have-
control over it, but
Right,
she might let us
yeah.
know, yeah.
Oh, she says not sure why. So maybe something happened while he was on his visit and he got back and he can't call.
Or maybe there's just an issue with the phones.
Could be,
That happens
yeah.
too.
But their visit was 2 hours? Either quarter of one to quarter of three, I believe, or quarter of four. I think it was a 3-hour visit.
It's 4:11 now. Why don't we go, if we don't hear from them by 4:15, we'll log.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah, I'll text her that.
Can she text back and
4:15.
forth with him? She probably can. There's
Yeah, she
something
probably
similar
can,
to-
yeah. And I'll just say, but after that, we may have to shut down.
Hey, I found this thing on the Epoch Times the other day. Maybe you guys could comment on this. Trump accuses Biden of unfairly targeting 71-year-old January 6th hostage who entered Capitol for 10 minutes. And the name is Rebecca Lavrez. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Oh, yes,
But
I
I need to
remember.
read that story.
That name rings a bell. Did we talk about, somebody talk about her when we were on live stream last time
I
around?
don't remember that, but I need to read that
I
whole
know,
article.
or maybe it was conversation in one of Jericho's live streams the
Could be,
last
yeah.
2 or 3 weeks, maybe?
It's just persecution. It's-
Yeah, but
I mean,
this is a 70-year-old woman that they arrested and they have already sentenced. Is that right? Oh, you
no,
don't have it
I'll go
back
back
up?
to it. I'll go back.
No, that's okay. Yeah, this lady is 70 years old, and, or maybe they just recently arrested her.
No.
I forget
I'll go
forget
back
now
to
the
it.
story, but I do remember the name and the fact that she was,
No, she's been, after nearly 26 hours of deliberation, a jury found her guilty of entering and remaining in a restricted building or grounds, disorderly, disruptive conduct. It's 4 misdemeanors, basically.
yeah,
She reminds me of Tony Griffith, went there to pray. That's
yeah,
what Tony went
yeah,
there for.
yeah. I know a couple other people who went there just to pray.
Yeah. She'll probably get a few months. As-
She shouldn't get anything at
No.
all.
Yeah, she was convicted on April 4th. So that's just a few days ago.
Yeah. So it must have been Jericho, somebody on Jericho's stream were talking about her.
Yeah, she's called the praying grandma, Deb posted
Yeah,
that.
yep. Deb may remember when that came across. I'm sure it was Jericho's, because I haven't done Freedom Corner in a while. Because most of my meetings run till 8:30,
Right,
quarter
right.
of 9, and till I get
Too
home,
late.
they're, I could sing the national anthem with the guys, but that's about all I get. That's about all I would be able to watch.
And I almost never get to watch it, but it's
Yeah.
nice to be there in person, so
Oh, yeah.
once in a while.
Maybe I'll try to do that sometime this summer.
You should. 'Cause
Go down.
Yeah, you'll be
Yeah.
off work. You want
I
to work
will,
in the
yeah.
summer, right?
No, well, I have 5 weeks that I have to work, Monday through Thursday.
Okay.
But I have all my weekends will be 3-day
You
weekends.
can go down for a long weekend.
Yeah.
It's too much to go down and back in one day.
Oh,
It's
yes, I
way
wouldn't
too
want to do that. I could almost even, well, if I left work Thursday, I wouldn't get down there in time for the vigil for 7 Thursday night,
No.
would I? So
It's
you
on
better
like
just
with
come
traffic.
down Wednesday or Friday morning and come back Sunday.
Yeah. Well, it's 4:15.
Yeah,
What do you say
and
we log off?
I did text her and let her know that we'd be able to stay live to about 4:15, but after that, we might have to shut down.
Yeah. My suspicion is that something came up
Yeah, I think.
for him. If he does call, you and I'll talk to him.
Yeah, yes, we can talk to him and then we will give you guys a summary next time we live stream.
God bless you, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging in there, and we will we'll be in touch. We'll let you know when we'll be streaming again, sometime
Yeah.
in May, probably. And walk in peace, walk in faith, walk in hope, and walk in love. And okay, bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone,
Yeah.
signing out, and we will talk to you in May.
I forget how to sign out now. I really do. I don't know how to. Oh, there it is.
Talk to him and
Yeah.
you don't have to live stream.
Yeah. Okay, this is it.
Oh. Here he is.
Oh, no, I just logged it out.
Okay, well, we can talk to
Yeah,
him
right.
if he wants.
Yeah.
An incarcerated individual at Citrus County, Florida. This call is not private. It will be recorded and may be monitored. If you believe this should be a private call, please hang up and follow facility instructions
We
to
don't need the
register this
mic.
number
Are we
as a
so
private
long? We're not
number.
so long.
No, we're
To
done.
refuse this free call, press 1. To refuse this free call, press 2. If you would like, thank you for using Securus. You may start the conversation now.
Hello?
Hey, Jeremy.
Hi, Regina.
Yes, hi, how are you doing?
Well, I'm doing as well as can be expected, I guess.
Yep, from
Thank
Sun,
you for,
from sunny Florida.